This page showcases the April 1994 issue of BeepMD, emblazoned with the unmistakable figure of Sonic the Hedgehog and some intriguing puppet-like characters. The cover promises deep dives into the Mega Drive's hottest titles and Sega's future. A significant draw is the Iron Fist Bible, special feature dedicated to the exceptional Beat 'em Up, Streets of Rage 2. The magazine puts a spotlight on Sega's legendary AM2 development team, the minds behind arcade titans like Virtua Fighter and Virtua Racing, exploring their impact and future projects. Readers are also teased with a report on Sega's upcoming next-generation console, the Saturn, and get the latest on Sonic the Hedgehog 3. The issue provides coverage on a strong lineup of games across the Mega Drive and Mega CD,
featuring titles such as Dynamite Headdy, the atmospheric Castlevania, Bloodlines, the charming Wonder Boy, Asha in Monster World, popular sports games like WWF Royal Rumble and NBA Jam, the unique Popful Mail, the classic Dungeon Master 2, and the cinematic Wing Commander for Mega CD, showcasing the breadth of Sega's catalog.
This page features a vibrant advertisement for the Sega Mega Drive title, Dragon Ball Z, Buyu Retsudens. Prominently displayed are the formidable characters Cell and Frieza, setting the stage for the epic battles found within. The ad confirms the game is a 16 meters fighting action game, promising intense combat for 12 players. Set for release on April 1st, priced at 8,800 yen, it highlights compatibility with the 6-button fighting pad while assuring players it's still fully playable with the standard 3-button controller. Screenshots scattered across the page give a glimpse of the gameplay, showcasing familiar characters like future Trunks and Gohan engaging in dynamic fights across various iconic locations from the series. This is a solid entry for Dragon Ball Z fans on the platform, bringing the high-speed battles to the Sega Mega Drive.
This page provides another exciting look at Dragon Ball Z,
Buyu Retsuden for the Sega Mega Drive, featuring prominent artwork of Super Saiyan Goku and Gohan. The main headline challenges players to stake their claim as the true strongest, entering a new battlefield. The game brings together iconic rivals such as Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta, Frieza, and Cell for intense combat. It emphasizes the evolution of special moves and the unique dual-screen field mechanic. Players can engage in a story mode or challenge a friend in 2-player versus modes.
The presentation aims to replicate the anime's impact with original character art from Toei Animation and featuring the familiar voice cast. Screenshots showcase battles on key arenas like the Cell Game Stage and the World Martial Arts Tournament Arena.
This page spotlights the Mega CD action RPG Popful Mail, announcing its arrival as a Popful action RPG. The description highlights the adventures of Mail and her friends, featuring high-quality animation in event scenes and a luxurious voice cast. The game was released on April 1st for 7,800 yen, and a release campaign offered premium gifts like an original video anime and a special telephone card. Also featured is Axe 101, described as a groundbreaking 3D shooting game, released March 25th for 7,800 yen, shown with 2 screenshots. The page also announces the simultaneous release of Games Can Volume 1 and Volume 2. Game compilations released March 18th for 3,980 yen each. Finally, there's an advertisement for the compact and high-performance Mega Drive 2 console, available for 12,800 yen. This page showcases Formula 1 World Championship 1993 Heavenly Symphony for the Mega CD. Developed jointly with Fuji Television, the game promises a realistic F1 experience through the use of real driver and team names, and includes a 93 mode covering episodes from the 1993 season. The page features the game's title logo prominently over a real-world image of an F1 pit lane. The game is listed for release on April 23rd at a price of 7,800 yen. The bottom of the page displays various hardware options for playing Mega CD games, including the Mega Drive with Mega CD attachment, the Mega CD 2 console, and the Victor Wonder Mega, noting their availability and prices.
This page is dominated by the upcoming Streets of Rage 3 for the Mega Drive, dramatically asking, is what shatters justice or evil? The artwork features returning heroes Axel, Blaze, and the cyborg Zan, joined by a new character, highlighting the intense action expected of Die. The text promises new special moves and a branching story, positioning it as the latest and greatest entry in the iconic beat-em-up franchise. It was scheduled for release on March 18th at 7,800 yen. The page also touches on other Sega releases, the minigame collection puzzle and action tanter, and the long-awaited return of a hero in Wonder Boy in Monster World IV, both set for an April 1st release at 7,800 yen and 8,800 yen respectively. A small section also notes the compact Mega Drive 2 console is available.
This page showcases the Tatsujin control pad for the Mega Drive, boldly claiming to be the strongest control pad on Earth and capable of helping you break through the wall of games. The main highlight is its impressive 30 shots per second rapid-fire function, touted as the latest weapon, with independent switches for each face button, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, allowing selectable speeds of 30 or 10 shots per second. It also features a 2-step slow-motion mode for enhanced gameplay. As a 6-button controller, it maintains compatibility with older 3-button games via an emulation mode. Priced at 3,480 yen, it works across various Sega systems, including the original Mega Drive, Mega Drive 2, Terra Drive, and Wonder Mega, and is described as being highly praised and available now. A small section also promotes a fresh Mega CD exclusive lens cleaner for 3,000 yen, presented as an essential item for optimal Mega CD performance.
This page features the cover art for the Sega Mega CD game, Urusei Yatsura. Dear my friends, the vibrant illustration depicts the iconic character, Lum, looking energetic and poised, seemingly flying above a detailed cityscape and mountains. The game art's logo is displayed in the top left corner, suggesting their involvement in the game's development. The title, Urusei Yatsura, is prominently displayed in large red letters with yellow outlines, centered at the bottom of the image, with the subtitle, Dear My Friends, below it in smaller yellow text. The artwork sets a cheerful and dynamic tone for the game. This page features the Sega Mega CD adventure game, Urusei Yatsura. Dear My Friends, the dynamic illustration shows the universe's most notorious playboy, Ataru Moroboshi, and the flying electric demon girl, Lum, causing another big panic in Tomobiki Town as they soar above the cityscape. The game features appearances from all the regular characters from the series, boasting a massive roster of 120 different characters. It utilizes rich anime processing for both gameplay and demo screens, bringing the vibrant world to life. You can explore a recreation of the iconic Tomobiki Town. The game includes full voice acting for the characters, and even supports the Sega mouse for control. Screenshots on the page show various scenes from the game, highlighting the anime art style and character interactions. The game was released on April 15, 1994, priced at 7,800 yen, excluding tax. It was developed by GameArts. This page features striking artwork for Konami's Castlevania, Bloodlines. The illustration depicts the game's protagonists, John Morris holding his whip, and Eric Lacard with his Alcarde spear, alongside a mysterious female figure, possibly Elizabeth Bartley or Death, set against a backdrop of a fiery red moon and blood-like splatters. The text at the top right reads, Next, suggesting this is a teaser or announcement for the game. The Konami logo is clearly visible at the top left. At the bottom left, the cartoon mascot Kid Dracula makes an appearance. The bottom text provides Konami's company name and contact information, noting a weekly telephone service for the latest Konami information. This page features a full-page announcement for Konami's Castlevania, Bloodlines on the Sega Genesis, known in Japan as Vampire Killer. The striking title declares, bestowing the title of Vampire Killer. The text explains that the game is set in Europe during World War I, where Dracula is being resurrected through the evil prayers of the vampire Elizabeth Bartley. A vampire hunter embarks on a fierce journey to crush this ambition. The game promises a massive scale, an original horror action experience for the Genesis. Key features highlighted include 2 distinct characters with unique attacks, increased action gameplay, Dracula's castle structure changing with branching routes and varied stages, and numerous enemy characters appearing. The game also boasts compelling Castlevania sound and powerful sound effects. 3 screenshots showcase the gameplay action. The page states, the game was released on March 18th for 7,800 yen. There is also information about a related CD release featuring soundtracks from Castlevania, Rondo of Blood and Castlevania, Bloodlines. Finally, it notes that the product is licensed by Sega Enterprises for the Sega Mega Drive. This page features announcements for 2 distinct Sega Mega CD titles. At the top is Microcosm, described as a battle within the human body. Starting now, it highlights the use of a fractal engine and 3D animation rendered on graphic workstations for realistic visuals,
and compelling 3D animation throughout. The plot involves corporate conflict in 2051, a cybernetics company embedding a mind control unit in a rival CEO's brain, leading to the battlefield shifting inside the CEO's body to remove it. Screenshots show the futuristic ship flying through organic environments. It notes the game is well received and available for 8,800 yen. The bottom half presents Heimdall, an action RPG based on Norse mythology, challenging players to find 3 stolen artifacts. The text describes it as an adventure and battle on a grand scale, creating a new mythical world. The main character becomes Heimdall, tasked by the gods to retrieve the artifacts. Key features include immersive real-time battle scenes and an innovative quarter-view map system. Screenshots show character portraits and the unique top-down angled perspective gameplay. It announces a release date of March 18th for 8,800 yen. Both games are published by Victor Entertainment. This page presents the eagerly anticipated Sega CD title, Dungeon Master 2: Skullkeep. Following up on the original classic, this installment promises a significant leap in realism, featuring monsters with advanced AI that demand more strategic combat. The game expands beyond the familiar stone dungeons to include vast 3D outdoor scenes and even alternate dimensions, adding natural phenomena like rain and lightning to the environments for increased immersion. Screenshots showcase the game's signature first-person perspective, displaying both dungeon interiors and new outdoor areas like a garden with an eerie castle in the distance. New gameplay features are highlighted, such as the ability to buy and sell items from monster merchants, and the introduction of a spy monster mechanic, allowing players to scout locations or retrieve items remotely within the labyrinthine maps. It's clear this is a significant evolution for the series, emphasizing tactical depth and environmental variety on the Sega CD. The game was scheduled for a March 25th release. This page features the debut of Crayon Shin-chan on the Sega Mega Drive, with the game titled Crayon Shin-chan: Arashi o Yobu Enji. The page excitedly announces Shin-chan's arrival on the system, promising a game packed with variety. Players will embark on an adventure combining action, puzzles, and numerous minigames, centered around the task of searching for his dog, Shiro. The game boasts a multi-layered map structure, featuring detours and hidden paths, offering more than just a linear experience. A major highlight emphasized is the inclusion of voice samples directly from the popular TV anime, bringing Shin-chan's signature voice to the game. Screenshots showcase different gameplay environments, including outdoor neighborhood scenes and a spooky nighttime setting. The game was scheduled for release on March 11th, priced at 8,800 yen. This page serves as the table of contents for the April 1994 issue, packed with insights into the latest and greatest Sega titles. It kicks off with the new game Scramble, featuring first looks at games like FIFA Soccer, RoboCop vs. the Terminator, and NBA Jam 94. Following that is the Mega Hot menu, spotlighting recently released hits such as Dragon Ball Z, Dynamite Headdy, Castlevania, Bloodlines, WWF Royal Rumble, and Monster World IV. A major focus is the full AM2 Lab special feature, diving deep into Sega's legendary AM2 development team. This includes a look at the upcoming Sega Saturn next-generation console, along with features on Fatal Fury 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and the Phantasy Star compilation for Sega CD. The Mega CD press section covers new Sega CD releases like Popful Mail, Record of Lodos War, Dragon's Lair, and Dungeon Master 2: Skullkeep. Visually, the page includes a classic screenshot from Sonic the Hedgehog 3's Hydrocity Zone boss fight and an action shot from a racing game. A significant bonus for readers is the Bounden Appendix, an Iron Fist Holy Book strategy guide for the highly anticipated Streets of Rage 3. The contents also touch upon other Sega platforms like the Game Gear and even the Laseractive, ensuring comprehensive coverage for Sega fans. This page delves into the Sega game market, presenting rankings for both home console software and arcade titles. The main feature is the Game Software Sales Top 15, covering Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear. Dominating the charts are heavy hitters like Phantasy Star IV at number 1, the ever-popular puzzle game Puyo Puyo at number 2, and the sports title J.League Pro Striker Perfect Edition at 3rd. Other notable entries include the unique adventure, the story of the mansion, and the Game Gear platformer Sonic Chaos in the top 5, alongside Flashback, Shining Force 2, Night Trap, Aladdin, and various Sonic and Puyo Puyo titles filling out the list. The analysis accompanying the sales data points out that new releases were somewhat slow, leading to a mixed chart, but highlights the continued strength of RPGs and the Puyo Puyo series. Separately, the Video Game Top 5 showcases the top arcade games. This section also touches upon the recent AOU show, noting that Sega's Daytona USA and Namco's Ridge Racer drew significant attention. The arcade rankings feature Virtua Fighter at the top, followed by Ridge Racer, Raiden 2, Soreike, Kokorogi 2, and Final Lap R, indicating strong performance from both Sega and other arcade powerhouses. This page presents user data from the Mega Drive community, split into two sections. The first section details the top 20 games users want to see ported to the Mega Drive platform. This wish list is dominated by popular arcade fighting games like Samurai Showdown and Fatal Fury Special, along with major titles from other platforms such as Virtua Fighter, Street Fighter II, Princess Maker, and Snatcher. The accompanying text notes excitement about future releases, including a confirmed Phantasy Star Revival Edition and anticipation for Sailor Moon. The second section lists the top 15 most anticipated upcoming Mega Drive and Mega CD games. Leading this list are major releases like Virtua Racing, Lunar, Eternal Blue, and Streets of Rage 3. Images accompany these entries, showcasing gameplay from the top-ranked titles like Virtua Racing's Time Attack and Streets of Rage 3's Combat. The points are derived from reader surveys, indicating strong anticipation for a diverse lineup of software about to hit the system. This page introduces the BeepMD Race section, which appears to be a unique rating system for new releases. Featured are reviews for two upcoming games using this system. The first game reviewed is YLA Country Club, a golf simulation released on February 25th. It features a screenshot showing the game's perspective and graphics. Reviewers comment on the game's attempt to capture the feel of playing golf in Hawaii, noting the graphics are a bit rough, but the game itself is well made with solid data. It receives an average rating of 6.75. The second game is Crayon Shin-chan, the Storm-Calling Kindergartner, based on the popular anime, released on March 11th. A screenshot shows characters in a town environment. Reviewers mention that character-based games like this are often welcomed by Mega Drive users. They find the game simple but enjoyable, especially for fans of the series, noting its accessibility for younger players and the unique atmosphere of the source material. The average rating for this title is 5.5. The page includes comments from multiple reviewers for each game, using a rating system visualized with dog icons, providing varied perspectives on the new software. The BeepMD Race section reviews 4 new Sega Mega Drive releases. Virtual Racing receives high praise for its faithful arcade port, earning an 8.75. Streets of Rage 3, Bare Knuckle 2-1, gets a 7.5, praised for its enjoyable action but lacking significant evolution. Castlevania Bloodlines, Vampire Killer, rated 6.25, is seen as a solid but uninspired Castlevania title with plain graphics. WWF Royal Rumble, scoring 6.0, is appreciated for its presentation but criticized for the lack of wrestler individuality. This page continues the BeepMD Race section, reviewing 4 more new releases for the Sega Mega Drive. First up is Grindstormer, an arcade shooting game port from Toaplan. This vertical shooter is flashy and offers a challenging experience with different game modes, including the overseas version. Reviewers found the port quality excellent, especially for a shooting game fan, though some felt it lacked a certain spark despite being well made. It received a high average score of 7.0. Next is Captain Lang, a new action game from Data East. Set sail for adventure in this original title. However, reviewers found it somewhat uninspired compared to other action games of the era, feeling derivative and lacking excitement, leading to a relatively low average score of 5.0. We also have the Phantasy Star re-release, a port of the classic Master System RPG. This faithful recreation of the original Phantasy Star was welcomed by RPG fans, seen as a solid and enjoyable title even today, especially for those who played later games in the series. Despite some disappointment about potential lack of FM sound support, it scored a respectable average of 6.5. Finally, Tantor is a port of the popular arcade minigame collection. Packed with numerous diverse minigames and modes, including original ones, this game is perfect for multiplayer fun. Reviewers highly praised its variety and accessibility, deeming it a great deal and incredibly addictive, particularly when played with friends, earning the highest average score on the page at 7.25. This page reviews 4 Sega Mega Drive titles. Monster World IV, A charming 16-year-old protagonist, engaging story, and good difficulty curve earned a 7.25 average score. Sega CD Collection Volume 1, featuring Flicky and Phantasy Star text adventures, received a 6.25 average, appreciated for its nostalgia. Volume 2, with 12 games including Teddy Boy Blues, scored a 6.0 average, praised for unique ideas but criticized for dated elements. F1 Circus CD, despite its driver creator and interesting ideas, received a 4.25 average due to poor racing gameplay, heavy controls, and lack of speed. 4 Mega CD games are reviewed. Wing Commander, a flight sim, receives a 6.5, praised for atmosphere but criticized for clunky controls. Axe 101, Cyber Cinema, a 5.25, is appreciated for its serious tone, but its simple shooting gameplay is deemed unengaging. Popful Mail, a console port, earns a 5.25, with its character creation praised, but the overall pace and visuals deemed average. Dungeon Master 2, Skullkeep, a 3D dungeon RPG sequel, gets a 6.5, recommended for hardcore fans, highlighting its deep navigation, combat, and challenging puzzles. This page reviews 4 Sega ports: Popful Mail, Mega CD, Echo the Dolphin, Game Gear, Sonic Drift, Game Gear, and Yu Yu Hakusho, Game Gear. Popful Mail's Mega CD port scores 6.25, praised for cutscenes but criticized for stagnant gameplay and inconsistent art. Echo the Dolphin's Game Gear version earns 5.25, praised visually but considered a scaled-down, difficult version of the original. Sonic Drift 6.0 is a simple but enjoyable kart racer with drift mechanics, but limited characters. Yu Yu Hakusho 5.0 is criticized for repetitive gameplay, poor hit detection, and luck-based boss battles, despite faithful character representation. This page reviews 2 Game Gear titles, Aladdin and Scratch Golf. Aladdin, based on the hit Disney film, is praised for capturing the movie's atmosphere and having smooth character movement, despite being a different game than the Genesis version. Reviewers found it challenging but rewarding with practice, especially after getting the magic carpet, and recommend it for fans of the film, giving it an average score of 6.5. Scratch Golf, a serious simulation title, offers multiple modes and holes. While the simulation aspect is well done, the reviewer notes a lack of action and finds the controls basic, wondering about the absence of 3D golf games on the system. Despite some frustration, it's considered the best golf game available on Game Gear and scores an average of 5.5. The editorial staff comments on the busy month for releases, highlighting the quality of titles like Virtua Racing and the enjoyable Tantor. They also note Monster World IV and express anticipation for Streets of Rage 3. Recommended Game Gear titles include Sonic Drift and Aladdin, noting their accessibility. Overall, the month offered a wide variety of games across all Sega systems. The page also features a large illustration of Sonic, Tails, and Amy Rose in traditional Japanese attire, celebrating the Hinamatsuri festival. The BeepMD Reader Race presents reader rankings of Mega Drive games. Readers' votes determine rankings, and average scores are provided. Featured games include Flashback, 8th, 8.909 reader average; Tecmo Super Bowl, 9th, 8.901 reader average; Battlemania Daiginjo, 31st, 8.4705 reader average; and Dragon's Revenge, 48th, 8.25 reader average. Reviews highlight key aspects of each game, such as Flashback's atmospheric graphics, Tecmo Super Bowl's real player names, Battlemania Daiginjo's dynamic gameplay, and Dragon's Revenge's flashy presentation. The top games by reader vote are listed, with Phantasy Star IV at the top. A smaller review covers the Mega CD title Genpei Tomaden, praising its voice acting and music, but describing its gameplay as average. Please provide the text you would like me to summarize. This page features a detailed look at the horse racing simulation game, Winning Post, for the Mega Drive and Mega CD, reviewed by Trembling King. The article highlights the game's premise of managing a horse stable, breeding, training, and racing horses, aiming for top events like the Arima Kinnan. The reviewer notes that while the core gameplay might be considered so-so, compared to other simulations like Derby Stallion, the overall presentation is quite gorgeous. The reviewer also discusses the technical aspects, mentioning the significant save data requirement for the cartridge version, necessitating a backup RAM unit, although the Mega CD version supports multiple saves. Despite some perceived shortcomings like loading times on the CD, the reviewer ultimately finds the game enjoyable, especially the process of raising and racing your own horses. The page also includes sections with reader feedback on winning post, praising how addictive it becomes as you progress and win races. There's a BeepMD data section, showing sales figures, reader review scores, and a graph illustrating the distribution of reader-voted odds for horses in a specific race. Finally, a list of popular games based on reader votes is presented with their average scores. The reviewer concludes by stating he quite likes the game, despite his initial tempered review, particularly highlighting the unique feeling of parental love when naming the horses. This page features the latest reader ranking list of Mega Drive games on the left. In the main section, reporter Yoichi Shibuya shares his thoughts under the heading, Decision, Aiming for the Middle Range. He reminisces about the arcade shooter Alcon, slap fight in Japan, recalling fond memories of playing it intensely after work, and how the game evokes nostalgia. He discusses how revisiting classic games like this can be a way to reflect on one's past and present life, finding joy in playing despite knowing the tricks and challenging themselves. Real Suzuki offers his recommended horse pick, highlighting Shining in the Darkness. He notes that despite being an earlier RPG release for the system, March 91, it still holds up well compared to later titles, especially praising its dungeon exploration and event design, making it a solid recommendation for RPG fans. There's also a section titled, Buy It When It Comes Out Next, which showcases Night Striker, a Taito arcade port. Described as a classic title uniquely ported to the Mega CD, it's noted for its strong sales performance and current rarity, urging readers to buy it if they find it. Finally, the resting horse section looks at Nobunaga's Ambition, Zenkoku Ban, a historical simulation game. It mentions that this particular version isn't included in the regular rankings, but is a notable title. This page compares Super Famicom and Mega Drive arcade ports, highlighting strengths. The Super Famicom list features titles like Street Fighter II and Gradius 2 Eyes, while the Mega Drive excels with faithful ports like Gunstar Heroes and Street Fighter II Plus. The Mega Drive's focus on accurate recreations was a key factor in the console war. The page also includes a reader ranking segment, focusing on positions 316 and below, along with prediction contests for games like the Mega CD version of Shin Megami Tensei and the import shooter Microcosm. Readers can submit reviews for a chance to win prizes, including Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. The editorial reflects on the 4-year history of the rankings, showcasing the Mega Drive's strong library. This page kicks off with exciting news, starting with the announcement of the Mega Jet, a smaller, handheld version of the Mega Drive. Initially used for in-flight entertainment, it's now set for consumer release, featuring an integrated pad and compatibility with Mega Drive 2 accessories, although it lacks the expansion port needed for the Mega CED. It's priced at 15,000 yen and releases on March 10th, sparking hope for a future all-in-one Genesis CDX-type device. There's also a quirky piece about Sega staff appearing in a Toho film called Can't Let Them Get Away, related to a new Game Gear title. European players get good news with the release of the Master System Converter 2, allowing Mark II-I and Master System carts to be played on the Mega Drive, though there's no plan for a Japanese release, which is a shame as it seems like a useful accessory. An event is announced for the upcoming Wolfang movie adaptation, featuring voice actors and a game tournament. The goods section highlights new merchandise for popular titles like Puyo Puyo and Art of Fighting, including plush toys and keychains. Finally, the new releases focus heavily on game music albums for titles like Mega Man X, Fighter's History, Dynamite, Karnov's Revenge, Virtua Fighter, and Phantasy Star, along with other artists and game-related sound collections. There's also a promotion offering electronic book software with the Wonder Mega Console. This page features a fascinating look at the intersection of video games and motorsports under the headline, Special Feature, Game Makers Racing the Circuit. It explores how game companies got involved in sponsoring racing teams and events, as motorsports saw a resurgence in popularity in Japan, particularly with the return of F1. You can see various race cars, like Formula 3 and F3000 machines, and motorcycles, adorned with logos from well-known game developers. Capcom is highlighted as being particularly enthusiastic, having competed in F3 and F3000. Images show their cars and presence at the track. Sega also made a splash, notably sponsoring the Williams F1 team, with the iconic Sonic the Hedgehog appearing on the car's livery and team equipment, which is pretty awesome to see. Other companies featured include Technos Japan, known for games like Double Dragon, sponsoring an F3 car.
Nichibutsu, Nihon Busan, had their logo on a front wing. Developers like IREM, SNK, and Dio System were involved in endurance motorcycle racing, with images showing their sponsored bikes and teams. Even Namco is shown with a presence at Suzuka Circuit. The article notes that while some companies were very active, others scaled back their involvement in later years. It's cool to see these game industry giants supporting the racing world. This page delivers an exciting report from the AOU show, the major arcade game expo that kicks off the spring season. The report contrasts this year's show with the previous autumn's AM show, noting a shift in focus. While the fall show highlighted powerful 3D games and massive deluxe cabinets like Virtua Fighter and Ridge Racer, this AOU show seems to be putting more emphasis on classic table-style arcade games, which I think is a great balance. Despite the rising popularity of home consoles, the report highlights that the show proves arcade games still pack a punch that you can only experience in the arcades. Photos show the crowded show floor, with glimpses of the Sega booth featuring multiple Daytona USA cabinets, as well as Capcom, SNK, and Namco setups. The page showcases several notable titles from the show floor, with screenshots and descriptions. You've got heavy hitters like Sega's Daytona USA and Jurassic Park, Namco's racing game Final Lap R and the SHMUP Nebula's Ray, Konami's hilarious shooter Gokuju Parodius and Golfing Greats 2, Spunk's fighting sequel Art of Fighting 2, the futuristic sports game Soccer Brawl, and the action platformer Top Hunter. Data East brought Windjammers and the fighting game Fighters History Dynamite, while Banpresto showed their beat-em-up Denjin Makai. It's clear there was a wide variety of games on display, proving the arcade scene was still vibrant and innovative. This page continues the report from the AOU show, kicking off with a big spotlight on Sega's heavily anticipated Daytona USA, running on their new, powerful Model 2 board. The text highlights how Sega, previously outshone in texture mapping by Namco's Ridge Racer at the last AM show, is now making a huge statement with the incredibly realistic visuals and gameplay of Daytona USA, which was a major attraction. The arcade fighting game boom is clearly far from over, as the page also details the rapid appearance of Super Street Fighter II Turbo, known as Super Street Fighter II-X in Japan. Capcom quickly followed up the previous Super Street Fighter II with this fifth title in the series, adding new special moves and super combos for each character, along with a turbo speed boost, making the action even more intense and flashy. Stronk's Art of Fighting 2 is also featured, indicating the continued strength of that series. Beyond the big names, the show presented a diverse range of titles, including action games like Taito's Under Fire and Rayforce, puzzle games such as Irem's Dice 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 and Atlas's Nanamide Majiku, and sports games like Jaleco's Best Bout Boxing and Tecmo World Cup 94. There were also adventure, racing, and quiz games on display, showing the wide variety of experiences available in the arcades. Many of these games were slated for release around March.
This page dives into Sega's commercial campaigns, with the B-Mega CM detective team focusing on the TV spots. The main subject is the 20-second entry, a commercial for virtual racing titled The Showdown Arc. The screenshots illustrate the chaotic and humorous premise. Two players are so engrossed in their game that their room literally transforms into a racetrack, furniture flying everywhere. They strap on goggles and engage in an intense, comedic battle, showcasing the game's real polygons and the concept of bringing the racing experience home, claiming to make your Mega Drive the fastest ever. The page also takes a trip down memory lane, highlighting nostalgic Sega toy commercials under the Sega Toy CM graffiti section. It notes that these toy CMS have a different vibe compared to the game ads, sometimes revealing a deeper, perhaps unfamiliar side of Sega's history. A few examples mentioned include commercials for Sega Cardmate, the Robo Pitcher toy, and the Zillion anime series, which had its own hit toy gun and corresponding commercials. Finally, the CM behind-the-scenes talk section offers insights into the production of the virtual racing CM. It reveals deliberate creative choices, such as intentionally degrading the video quality to mimic a car-mounted camera effect, enhancing the feeling of speed and thrill. The commentary highlights the effort put into timing the humorous reactions of the actors, whose shocked faces perfectly capture the game's shocking debut impact. This page features interviews with two prominent voice actors from the popular Sailor Moon SAR series. First up is Emi Shinohara, known for voicing Sailor Jupiter and characters in Mobile Suit vs. Gundam. She discusses her career, enjoying the challenge of new roles and even singing. Shinohara shares her experience working on the Sailor Moon game, highlighting the need for quick, precise delivery of battle cries and short lines, and mentions enjoying classic arcade games like Space Invaders. The second interview is with Rika Fukami, the voice of Sailor Venus. She talks about her work, including foreign film dubbing, and her connection with the audience through Sailor Moon. Fukami reflects on the show's impact, observing how young viewers become emotionally invested, crying during sad moments, and learning about support and love. Both voice actors express hope that the series leaves a lasting positive impression on the girls who watch it. The page also notes an upcoming event featuring both Shinohara and Fukami. Sega's upcoming Saturn console, slated for a November release, is detailed in a special report. Product manager Hideki Okamura confirms a price target below 49,800 yen and discusses promotional plans, including a major toy show presence in June and extensive autumn campaigns. The Saturn supports CD-ROM beyond music, including photo CD and video CD, and potentially network capabilities. Hardware focuses on enhanced sprite and scrolling, aiming for more than just impressive CGI. Software development is underway, with 41 titles, including arcade ports like Daytona USA and Virtua Fighter, both expected to take advantage of the system's Model 2 capabilities. A previewed action game highlights detailed character shading, smooth animation, and interactive environments. Sega is determined to bring its popular arcade games to the home console, with numerous third-party developers also supporting the Saturn. This page delves deeper into the unlimited potential of the Sega Saturn, providing a look at its core specifications. Building on the previous page's introduction, it confirms features like a cartridge slot compatible with expansion devices, and the possibility of using the same pad as the Mega Drive. The technical breakdown highlights impressive features like twin 32-bit RISC CPUs, a dedicated DSP, substantial memory for work, video and sound, and graphics capabilities supporting up to 16 million colors, various shading techniques like flat and garage shading, texture mapping, and robust sprite and scrolling functions including scaling, rotation, and multiple layers and windows. The page also features an interview section, where discussions cover expected software genres, emphasizing CG games, realistic simulations, and arcade ports as major trends. Sega expresses confidence in their sales strategies and partnerships, including collaboration with Microsoft. Previews of potential Saturn titles showcase the system's capabilities. A tentative 3D shooting game features texture-mapped backgrounds and allows real-time viewpoint control and attacking enemies from behind. A soccer game utilizes polygons for characters, demonstrating dynamic movement and camera perspectives, drawing from Sega's history with sports titles. There's also speculation about a virtual racing port, noting the Mega Drive version's use of a DSP chip, and questioning the Saturn's ability to handle it, suggesting it could become a Saturn staple. Finally, the page discusses the potential for full-motion video, highlighted by a possible title based on the movie Rampo, hinting at the Saturn's capabilities beyond traditional gameplay. This page shifts focus to the rivals vying for the next-generation market, highlighting machines from Panasonic, Sony, and NEC. It notes that the battle isn't just about Saturn, but also includes consumer electronics companies. The Panasonic 3 DUR.E.A.L system, the first hardware based on the 3DA company's standards, is discussed. It launched with a price drop to 54,800 yen, and Panasonic is aggressively promoting it for widespread adoption. Screenshots show a fighting game that looks reminiscent of Street Fighter II and a game based on the movie Demolition Man. Next is the Sony PSX prototype. This system features Sony's original RISC chip and a powerful geometry engine, enabling high-speed polygon rendering for smooth CG images at 60 frames per second. A demo screenshot shows a detailed dinosaur, illustrating advanced CG processing with texture mapping. Finally, the NEC HEFX prototype is introduced, slated for release in the autumn. While not focused on polygon rendering in the same way, it features dedicated processors for digital video display and large memory capacity. It can play full-screen, 30 frames per second video. Demo images include a space shooter and a colorful scene with an ostrich, showcasing its visual capabilities. Both the Sony and NEC systems are presented as promising competitors in the upcoming holiday season console war. This page presents a special report on Sonic the Hedgehog 3, highlighting its planned May release and impressive scale. It notes the game's significant size, boasting 24 megabits plus backup functionality, a massive jump from previous titles, enabling richer visuals and content. The article showcases early screenshots, including the vibrant Angel Island zone. A major focus is the enhanced two-player competitive mode, returning from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This mode features 3 distinct race types: Grand Prix, Match Race, and Time Attack. These are not just repurposed levels. The report emphasizes that this mode utilizes unique, compact zones designed specifically for intense, fast-paced racing, using dedicated character sprites and backgrounds made possible by the larger room size. The description conveys the excitement and tension of these races. The feature also briefly touches on the game's opening narrative, introducing the new character Knuckles and explaining how he is initially misled by Dr. Eggman, leading him to steal the Chaos Emeralds from Sonic and Tails.
The report concludes by praising the game's power-up and promising a deeper experience. This page delves into more details of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, starting with the familiar tropical feel of Angel Island Zone, showcasing moments like balancing on edges, the sense of speed, and the first confrontation with Dr. Eggman and the newly introduced Knuckles. It then moves into Hydro City Zone, a watery environment where currents play a role, and Tails' ability to swim is highlighted, along with an underwater boss encounter. A major feature is the introduction of 3 new elemental shields: the electric shield, allowing for a double jump and ring attraction; the water shield, enabling high bounces and indefinite breathing underwater; and the fire shield, which grants a horizontal dash attack. The basic insta-shield is also mentioned. Finally, the page prominently features Tails' new cooperative ability to fly and carry Sonic, demonstrating how players can utilize this to reach new areas, although Tails can tire out after extended flight. This page continues the deep dive into Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Moving past the initial zones, it highlights the treacherous heights and varied terrain of Marble Garden Zone, showing off the vibrant level design and introducing some unique environmental hazards and enemies, including a boss encounter where Tails lends a hand. Next up is the lively Carnival Night Zone, described as a fun, festive area filled with cannons and spinning platforms, offering a different kind of challenge and showcasing the speed players can achieve. The cool Ice Cap Zone makes an appearance, featuring the memorable snowboarding intro sequence and icy environments that require clever navigation, leading to a boss that's literally frozen stiff. Beyond the main zones, the page details the game's special stages. The special stage involves collecting blue spheres on a rotating, checkered sphere to earn the coveted Chaos Emeralds, requiring precise movement on a tricky surface. The bonus stage, accessible from save points, focuses on gathering items, often through interactive machines rather than emeralds. Overall, the page emphasizes the increased variety of actions and levels in Sonic 3, celebrating the effective teamwork between Sonic and Tails. This page is a special report announcing the arrival of Fatal Fury 2 on the Mega Drive, published by Takara. It celebrates Takara's first entry into the Mega Drive market, with this highly anticipated fighting game, originally a hit on the Neo Geo. The article highlights the game's impressive 24 megabit cartridge size, noting it's larger than previous console ports like the Super Famicom version, promising a faithful reproduction. A major point is the inclusion of the iconic super special moves, like Terry Bogard's devastating power geysers, assuring fans that these powerful techniques are present and look great. The report also mentions that players had the chance to try out the Mega Drive version at the CSG event in Tokyo on March 30th. The bottom section provides context by showing the history of the Fatal Fury series on Neo Geo and its first game's release on Super Famicom, emphasizing the franchise's evolution leading up to its Mega Drive debut. The page features artwork of popular characters such as Mei Shiranui and Terry Bogard, along with several screenshots showcasing gameplay and special moves. This page continues the deep dive into the Mega Drive port of Fatal Fury 2, focusing on some exciting character news. It confirms that the sub-bosses, Billy Kane, Axelhawk, and Lawrence Blood, along with the final boss Wolfgang Krauser, are all playable characters in the game. The article notes that this was a feature possible via a trick in the Super Famicom version, and suggests it will be the case here too, adding significant replay value. There's also a spotlight on fan-favorite Mei Shiranui, assuring players that her famous moves and animations, including her notable victory pose, are faithfully reproduced. Additionally, the page highlights a range of Fatal Fury merchandise available from Takara,
the game's publisher. Finally, the bottom section provides context by listing various ports of the Fatal Fury series across different platforms, including the Super Famicom version of Fatal Fury 2, the original Fatal Fury on Mega Drive, the PC Engine Cridrom version of Fatal Fury 2, and even the Game Boy port, Net Fatal Fury 2. This showcases the franchise's widespread popularity and availability. This page features a special report on Langrisser 2, the sequel to the popular simulation RPG. It highlights a massive increase in cartridge capacity, jumping from 4 megabits in the first game to a hefty 16 megabits, promising a significantly expanded experience. The game is set hundreds of years after the original Langrisser, with the protagonist Elwyn being a descendant of the previous heroes, Ledin and Chris. The report details several key improvements and new features. Players can now perform indirect attacks with archers or specific equipment, mix mercenary types in their army, and buy and sell items at a newly introduced shop. Item management is also improved, allowing characters to equip up to 3 items.
Healing magic now grants Express, and MP also recovers. The Summoner class sees an increase in summon magic options. Additionally, the article teases hidden maps and hidden classes, among other numerous additions. Character artwork for Rihanna and the Dark Princess is shown, alongside screenshots of the game's interface and tactical battles. The release date and price were still undecided at the time of this report. This page delves further into the improvements and new features found in Langrisser 2. Building on the expanded scale mentioned previously, the number of active commanders has increased, and the class change system is significantly enhanced. The protagonist Elwyn is shown with his branching class paths, illustrating the jump from just a few options to a much wider variety, with a total of over 40 classes planned, including hidden ones. The mercenary system sees a revamp. While the maximum number of mercenaries per unit is slightly reduced, the types available have increased, and critically, players can now mix different mercenary types within a single unit, vastly expanding strategic possibilities. A new system also links remaining mercenaries after battle to commander growth. Magic has been massively expanded, more than doubling the available spells, including new support and summoning magic types. Healing magic now grants experience points, and MP recovery is added, making spell usage more dynamic. Elemental properties have been introduced, adding layers of tactical depth to battles. Finally, the familiar shop system from the PC version is introduced, allowing players to buy and sell equipment. The item system is also refined, allowing characters to equip up to 3 different items, adding more customization. Character art of Sharif is featured, alongside screenshots showcasing the class change paths, mercenary types, shop interface, and tactical battles, including a glimpse of the tornado spell. The game is clearly designed for deeper strategic play than its predecessor. This page is a special report celebrating the re-release of the classic RPG, Phantasy Star. Driven by passionate fan demand, the original Phantasy Star, first released on the Sega Master System in 1987, is getting a new release on the Mega Drive at an affordable price. The article highlights the enduring appeal of the game and its beloved characters like Elisa, Tyrone, Lutz, and Mayao. Screenshots show iconic scenes, including a desert area, a town entrance, a character portrait of Elisa, and battle sequences. The page then dives into a fascinating aspect of the game: combination attacks. It reveals details about 13 known combination attacks, presenting a table that lists each attack's name, the required inputs, characters or skills, the target or effect, and its effectiveness against biological, mechanical, and magical enemies. However, the main event is the destruction attack, a rumored ultimate combination attack that is still undiscovered. Sega and the magazine are challenging readers to find the input combination for destruction through a contest, with lavish prizes offered to the winners. A screenshot is dedicated to showing the destruction attack in action once found. This initiative showcases the deep mechanics of the game and invites players to explore its secrets. This page features a new release scramble, highlighting upcoming titles for the Sega Mega Drive. The main focus is on Crusader of Senti, known in Japan as Shin Soseki Ragnarsenti. The article dives into the game's unique Trinity system, explaining that accompanying animal companions grant the main character different stats and abilities. For example, having a cheetah increases movement speed, while a lion might grant fire magic. You can have up to 2 animals with you, and certain combinations can lead to even more powerful magic. The article stresses the importance of gathering information and strategically swapping animals to overcome challenges. Screenshots showcase colorful graphics and the game's action RPG gameplay, including combat and environment interaction. The page also lists other games in the scramble,
such as FIFA Soccer, RoboCop vs. Terminator, and Outrunners. A message from the developer, GAO Entertainment, touches upon their history with Outrunners and expresses excitement for this new RPG project. This page continues the new release Scramble feature, showcasing 2 more upcoming titles. First up is FIFA Soccer, which the reviewer praises highly, even suggesting it might surpass previous soccer games on the system. They highlight the detailed individual player movements and the game's ability to faithfully reflect team characteristics and strategies. Screenshots show the game's angled top-down view, various player actions, a World Cup mode featuring numerous international teams, and screens detailing team tactics like coverage, strategy, and formation. The reviewer calls it superb and notes its development in England, the home of soccer, is evident in its quality. Below that is Spark, a new action game featuring a hero of the same name who can travel between a CG world and the real world. Developed by Sega and scheduled for a June release, this action title features bright graphics and well-animated characters. The reviewer describes the gameplay as crisp, high-speed action. Screenshots showcase Spark using electrical abilities, including a lightning dash move, across diverse environments like a futuristic city, a high-tech base, and a vibrant casino stage. The next page continues the new release Scramble with 4 more upcoming Mega Drive titles. First up is Jam It, a street basketball game that focuses on 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 matchups in various outdoor courts, offering a different feel from standard basketball simulations. Below that is RoboCop vs. Terminator, a side-scrolling action game pitting the 2 iconic cyborgs against each other, described as a high-octane crossover battle across different environments. Next we see Outrunners, the latest evolution in the classic racing series. The page shows screenshots of the signature colorful graphics, various cars, and even a crash sequence, indicating its development is progressing well. Finally, there's NBA Pro Basketball 94, featuring the Chicago Bulls and Phoenix Suns. This looks like a detailed simulation using data from the 93-94 season, including specific player portraits and team lineups, promising realistic basketball action. The page also includes an overflow section with additional news, highlighting the announcement of a Sailor Moon action game coming to the system, a significant title for fans of the popular anime. It also gives a nod to Asus Flight Sim F117 as another noteworthy release. This page kicks off the second part of the BeepMD Hot menu, focusing on highly anticipated upcoming releases for the Sega Mega Drive. The main feature here is Dragon Ball Z, Buyu Retsuden, a fighting game based on the hugely popular anime and manga series, which registered over 40% reader interest. A massive figure. Developed by Bandai and planned for an April 1994 release, this title adopts the dual-screen system seen in the Super Famicom Dragon Ball Z games, allowing for wide-ranging battles across expansive stages. A major draw is the inclusion of voice acting from the TV anime and character artwork handled directly by Toei Animation, promising an authentic experience. The game offers 2 primary modes. The story mode follows the narrative, with screenshots suggesting players can select various main characters, and that major arcs like the Frieza Saga and Cell Saga will be covered. The 2-player versus mode is for pure combat enjoyment, featuring 11 playable characters, and even includes unique conversation messages between characters before a fight. Players can expect to battle with fan favorites like Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Krillin, Android 18, and members of the Ginyu Force like Ginyu and Riku. The use of the wide dual-screen battlefield makes the fighting mechanics distinct and promises a fresh take on the series' battles. This looks like a must-have for any Dragon Ball Z fan. This page provides a closer look at the impressive roster for the Genesis title, Dragon Ball Z, Buyu Retsuden. It confirms the 11 playable characters highlighted previously, giving a profile for each of them. We get to see the pixel art sprites and character portraits for heroes like Goku, Gohan, Trunks, Vegeta, Krillin, and Piccolo, alongside villains such as Cell, Frieza, Android 18, and members of the Ginyu Force, Riku and Captain Ginyu. The descriptions touch upon their significance in the anime and how their unique abilities might translate into gameplay on the game's signature dual-screen battlefields. It's cool to see less common playable characters, like the Ginyu Force members included, adding some real variety beyond the standard heroes and main villains. The page wraps up with a brief comment from the developer and a section building hype for the upcoming battles, along with a shot of the game's title screen. It's clear the focus here is showcasing the depth of the character selection. This page dives into the quirky world of Dynamite Headdy, the action platformer from Treasure. It picks up where previous coverage left off, highlighting the game's unique protagonist, Headdy,
and his ability to swap out his head for one of 14 different attachments, each granting him a distinct power or ability. The article focuses on the progression into Stage 2, where the real adventure begins after escaping the initial doll hunter threat. Screenshots showcase the vibrant and inventive level design of Stage 2, filled with strange enemies and environmental hazards. We get a glimpse of some of the foes Hetty will encounter, including the bizarre Dugoons and the various types of soldiers in the Imperial Army. A key section introduces several of the head attachments Hetty can use. These aren't just cosmetic. They fundamentally change gameplay. Examples shown include the hammerhead for pounding enemies, the vacuum head for pulling in items, the stopwatch head to briefly freeze time, the triplekin head for rapid-fire projectiles, the bomb head for explosive power, and the angel ring head for defensive capabilities. The page emphasizes how these unique heads are crucial to navigating the game's challenges. The preview confirms basic game details, like it being a Sega title and an action game. The next page continues exploring the world of Dynamite Hetty, delving deeper into its unique presentation and mechanics. A column highlights the impressive detail of the game's stage design, noting that the entire world is set up like a puppet show, with intricate, layered backgrounds. The page introduces Hetty's key allies who appear throughout the game. Mochin acts as an item carrier, dropping useful power-ups. Yakun helps pinpoint enemy weak points by appearing with arrows. Fukun serves as a grappling hook, allowing Hetty to ascend to higher platforms. Several more of Hetty's interchangeable heads are showcased. The tiny head allows Hetty to shrink and fit through small passages. The sleepy head lets Hetty recover health while sleeping. The sumo head makes Hetty incredibly heavy, impacting movement. The spike head allows Hetty to stick to and climb walls. The burn head provides a fire breath attack. The phantom head makes Hetty temporarily invincible and transparent. Finally, the rocket head fires homing projectiles. The page also features a brief, humorous comic strip and a note from the developers expressing their excitement for the game's impending completion. This page highlights the action game Captain Lang, known internationally as Captain Lang, and the Seven Seas on the Genesis. It's described as a simple yet challenging action title with controls boiled down to just one button and the D-pad, offering a feel reminiscent of both Sonic the Hedgehog and the arcade version of Strider Hiryu, requiring quick reactions. The game tasks the protagonist, Lang the Seal, with an adventure across 7 seas to find a magic stone, initiated by a treasure map given by a girl named Bridget, which the villain Bernard is also after. Basic actions like the moonsault kick, stomp, and rolling are shown. The page previews early stages and introduces the bosses Bernard, Andre, and Muvo, noting specific threats like Bernard's sword swings and Andre's stomp attack. A message from Data East's Saito mentions this is their first original title for the Mega Drive, and while it might be a bit tough, the staff are reliable. This page is primarily a reader's letters section and music feature. The This Month's BGM section introduces a new system for featured music, starting with tracks from the Sonic the Hedgehog series, including music from Sonic Spinball. They are currently accepting requests for future selections. The main area, BeepMD Talk, features letters from readers discussing various topics. Readers share their experiences, such as reading the magazine during exams, asking about the magazine's content focus, and commenting on general societal observations. The host of the section is DJ=Namo, who interacts with the reader's letters, offering brief responses. Some letters touch upon the community aspect of the magazine, and even discuss sensitive topics like social etiquette and potentially inappropriate conversations, framed as commentary on current trends. There's a small section about future planning, depicted with figures thinking. This page features various sections including Mega Drive slang, an announcement, industry rumors, reader manga, and an illustration gallery. The Mega Driver slang defines terms used by fans, such as Woodstocker for someone who collects difficult games, and MD Girl for a competent woman. There's an exciting announcement that a new project will start from the next issue, hinting at future content for the magazine. A large text section compiles industry whispers and notes, touching on various topics like Technosoft's internal structure, rumored reasons for changes at Falcom, Sega's dealings with figures like Atom, the fate of Kami on next-gen hardware, notes on specific games like Sword of Sedan, Shinseki Ragnarsenti possibly using Shining Force characters, a character named Edoya Nekohachi appearing in a sequel, the scarcity of certain game genres on the Mega Drive, and why Gao might have many titles, potentially related to hardware like the Super Famicom. These are presented as rumors or observations,
The Illustration City section showcases reader-submitted artwork. Featured illustrations include fan art of Sonic the Hedgehog and a piece related to Battle Fantasia. The text for this section announces that the illustration corner, previously split into two parts, will be consolidated back into a single section from the next issue, encouraging all fans to submit together. There are also several other character illustrations submitted by readers. A small manga strip depicts a humorous dialogue exchange between characters. A Sega Fan Forum, 4th Sega Elder Health Meeting, features reader contributions, editorial notes, and a subjective ranking of top SG-1000/Mark II games, highlighting Final Bubble Bobble, Zaxxon, and Shin Yushine to Orusuban. Other sections include reader questions, answers about old games, homemade items like custom game boards, personal anecdotes, Megatalk, industry gossip, truth of MD rumors, game-inspired songs, and reader illustrations, Illustration City. The next issue will focus on user feedback. This page delves into reader opinions and editorial thoughts on the state of RPGs, particularly on the Mega Drive. The main editorial, This Month's Argument, features Ron lamenting that many RPGs feel like doll collecting games with overly simplistic or linear stories, becoming repetitive. He expresses a desire for more emergent narratives and less tedious elements like random encounters and confusing terminology for magic and items. The Mega section echoes these sentiments, with readers critiquing the lack of freshness in current RPGs. They're tired of similar fantasy settings and character designs, suggesting directions like cyberpunk RPGs, innovative music styles like house or techno BGM, and citing games like Snatcher and Ultima Underworld as examples of unique approaches. There's a clear call for more challenging and original experiences. Another section, A Word from Beeple, provides a collection of short, personal anecdotes from readers, some mentioning gaming mishaps like failing exams due to playing too much Mega Drive, while others touch on unrelated daily life events, offering a glimpse into the community's broader interests. The page also features reader illustrations in Illustration City Part 2, showcasing character art, including depictions that appear to be from Shining Force, and the classic anime Urusei Yatsura, which is also noted as airing on NHKBS2. A small box announces the theme for the next issue, focusing on reader wishes for Sega Saturn. This page features the R's Voice section, a direct line for readers to share their thoughts on the gaming industry and specific titles. Unlike the previous focus on RPGs, this page covers a wider spectrum of opinions. Readers discuss their experiences, from appreciating the atmosphere of adventure games like Yumemikon no Monogatari, to critiquing manufacturers like Namco for not releasing enough games on the Mega Drive. There's also a call for Sega to improve accessibility by opening more stores and holding regional events, highlighting the challenges players face in finding games outside major areas. Players express their love for co-op experiences and the fun of playing with friends, mentioning games like Streets of Rage, Gunstar Heroes, and Mickey Mania. A significant point raised is the desire for more arcade ports of popular titles such as Power Drift, Alien Syndrome, Altered Beast, Jax, Gradius 2, Dragon Spirit, Assault, Rolling Thunder, Darius, and 1943, recognizing the strong connection many players have to the arcade golden age. Some readers voice concerns about the potential impact of next-generation consoles on Mega Drive support, even proposing a movement to resist buying new hardware to encourage continued current-gen development. The page also showcases reader-submitted illustrations, featuring characters from various games including Sonic and Tails, alongside other original or fan art pieces. The section concludes by outlining how readers can submit their voices, and includes small corrections regarding game names mentioned in previous issues, such as Lunar Eternal Blue. This page features the Planet Sega Stadium section, a dedicated space for reader feedback and Sega news. The main feature here is the When You're Stuck, Ask Sega Stadium corner, where readers send in their thoughts and requests. They ask Sega to improve their video magazine, suggesting longer runtimes and more content like game features, and proposing a new reader feedback corner called MegaDrive's Law. Another popular request is a section where Sega staff draw on reader-submitted photos. Further down, the MD Masterpiece Theater highlights Master of Monsters, a fantasy simulation game released in July '91. The review praises the game's excellent music, noting its FM sound source quality, but mentions the graphics have a somewhat rough look. Despite this, the game is recommended for fans of fantasy simulations.
Exciting news arrives with the announcement of Virtua Racing's release date, March 18th. The page urges everyone to buy it and mentions related events, including a time attack contest in the magazine and a tournament at the CSG Sega booth, with prizes like a cool hat for the winners. Finally, the illustration section showcases creative reader artwork, featuring fan art of Sega characters like Sonic, alongside other original pieces, some with humorous commentary or observations. The next page features a fascinating interview with popular voice actress Megumi Hayashibara, who discusses her love for Sega games. She's particularly excited about Virtua Racing, noting the immersive feeling and how crashes don't end the race, making it very replayable. Beyond gaming, she talks about her music and the thrilling news that dolls of her character from the adventure game 3x3 Eyes are now appearing in Sega's UFO catchers. She was incredibly happy to find her character, Pain, in these machines. The page also announces a listener event for her radio show, Tokyo Boogie Night, happening soon in Tokyo. Below that, there's an announcement about a new joint project starting between Joy TV and Sega Stadium, inviting readers to submit ideas for future collaborations and content. There are phone numbers listed for Joy Telephone for various cities across Japan. Finally, there's a small image related to a Sonic game, possibly Sonic Drift. This page dives into upcoming Sega CD titles, starting with a look at potential TV commercials for Langrisser 2, which is known as War Song in the West. It presents various short scenarios and character lines for the commercials, featuring different actors and actresses, giving a sense of the game's dramatic moments. There's also an update on the development of Langrisser 2, confirming that progress is smooth, accompanied by new artwork of the character Sherry. Below that, a section titled Data West Orgel Impressions and Thanks features feedback from readers about the horror game Orgel. The developer, Data West, shares comments received from players, highlighting their impressions of the game's unsettling atmosphere, specific scary scenes, and appreciation for the story's emotional depth. They express gratitude for the feedback, and mention that while they couldn't include everyone's comments, they've reviewed them all, and will try to incorporate the insights in the future. It's clear readers have strong reactions to Orgel, particularly its horror elements and narrative. This page features the regular corner column, specifically Scene 19, which continues its ongoing challenge or commentary on the developer Tengen. It includes a personal anecdote from someone who took a leap and moved to California to work directly for Atari Games, Tengen's parent company, even attending the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, and getting involved in game development there. Exciting news for arcade fans as the page announces the definitive release date for Tengen's Genesis/Mega Drive port of the classic, Gauntlet, confirming it will hit stores on March 18th. The column also dedicates a substantial section to fan interaction in the Tengen Yoroshi Kuro-san special, where readers submit questions and feedback directly related to Tengen's games and operations. The ongoing World Tengenization Plan theme is also evident, serving as a lighthearted frame for discussing the developer's influence and activities. This page features the Treasure Factory column, reporting on developer Treasure's activities. The main news is the relocation of Treasure's office to a new, more convenient location in West Shinjuku as of February 7, 1994. The report details the improved office space and mentions the developers are diligently working, signaling a new start for the company. The page also includes the Let's Go! Saturn Network section, where Treasure solicits fan ideas for games they'd like to see created for the upcoming next-generation console. This section highlights Treasure's ambition to create million-selling legend-status games. Fan submissions suggest various concepts, including action RPGs based on existing works like Treasure Island, and unique action games with bizarre characters like a fist hero runner, or characters on a scooter and a dog. The page features illustrations accompanying some of these fan ideas, showcasing the creative interaction between the studio and its fans. A closing remark encourages fans to keep the ideas coming and expresses confidence in Treasure handling the next console generation. This page features a variety of columns and manga segments. Kicking off is an industry lecture by Mr. Nunn, reporting on his trip to the Winter CES in Las Vegas, touching upon the Game Awards and the general state of the game industry. Elsewhere on the page are several manga panels by artists like Kobayashi Seiki, depicting characters discussing topics like drawing, work struggles, and a changing serialized column. A key section is Otaku's Den, where the reviewer Yaimon discusses the anime
Idol Angel Yokoso Yoko. While acknowledging negative adult perspectives on the show due to its blatant commercial tie-ins and sponsor demands leading to toys appearing in the work, Yaimon argues that the core of the production was strong, capable of overturning these initial negative impressions. The love letter from Minako column concludes its run, with Minako reflecting on her journey, thanking her supporters, and expressing her feelings about moving on. This is confirmed in the editor's postscript, announcing that both the editor, and Minako are graduating from the Fuakutori section of the magazine, promising they will appear in new capacities going forward. Finally, a call for reader postcards is included, mentioning that submissions used will receive a prize from the developer treasure. This page is dedicated to exploring the technical side of upcoming hardware, focusing on the Sega Saturn. The main topic is the surprising news that the Saturn will utilize an operating system developed by Microsoft. The author, Akagi Nyaku, admits his initial surprise and slight concern upon hearing this, viewing the OS as the very soul of a machine and outsourcing it as a significant move. The article then delves into explaining what an OS is, describing it as the fundamental software that acts as an unsung hero and intermediary service industry, managing basic computer functions. It provides a brief historical context, mentioning early programming involved writing everything from scratch, the emergence of systems like CP per meter, which provided standard routines, and the subsequent rise of DOS and Windows, driven by Microsoft. This evolution simplified software development by providing common functions for tasks like accessing storage. The author muses on the impact of a Microsoft OS on the Saturn, suggesting it should make software development much easier and faster, potentially leading to better utilization of features like SIDROM and networking, which are crucial for next-generation consoles. However, a note of caution is struck regarding Microsoft's reputation, expressing worry that Sega's unique character might be compromised by a dominant partner. The author hopes for a balanced partnership, perhaps a 50-50 split in influence, and advises watching the future relationship closely. Images on the page include a computer setup and several boxes of Microsoft Windows software. This page presents a special feature on Streets of Rage 3, known as Bare Knuckle 2 Eyes in Japan. The page showcases the game's key artwork featuring protagonists Axel Stone, Blaze Fielding, and Skate Hunter, alongside some enemy characters. It highlights the game as the latest entry in the popular beat-em-up series, emphasizing its themes of justice and passion. Technical details are mentioned, noting the game's increased scale with a significantly larger room size than its predecessors, allowing for more actions and character detail. The article also touches upon gameplay elements, including the return of modes like versus battle, promising high replayability. A notable section is an interview with the game's music staff, including composer Motohiro Kawashima and credited lead composer Yuzo Koshiro. They discuss their approach to creating the game's distinctive soundtrack, drawing inspiration from diverse influences like Rotterdam's electronic music scene and artists like Harumi Hosono. They explain the challenge and creativity involved in pushing the boundaries of the Mega Drive's sound hardware to achieve their unique sonic vision for the game. This page offers an insightful look at the history and evolution of the Streets of Rage series, analyzing its significance as one of Sega's representative games. It places the series' debut around the same time as Sonic the Hedgehog, discussing how Sonic established Sega's direction for action games. The article explores the progression of the Streets of Rage series across its installments, pondering the nature of sequels and whether they always improve upon the original foundation, suggesting that while features may increase, the core fun or overall quality might not always be maintained. The page features screenshots from Streets of Rage, Sonic the Hedgehog, Shinobi, and Wonder Boy in Monster World, using these examples to discuss Sega's approach to game development and series continuation. It also draws a comparison, noting that Streets of Rage was Sega's take on the popular Final Fight genre. This page analyzes the Streets of Rage series' evolution and significance for Sega, comparing it to Sonic, and reflecting on the fate of game sequels. This page, titled Verification 2, Evolution Seen Through Controls and Action, delves into the progression of the Streets of Rage series gameplay mechanics. It describes Streets of Rage 1 in 1991 as a transitional beat-em-up, emphasizing positioning relative to multiple enemies. Streets of Rage 2 is highlighted for its larger characters and strong focus on the intense, exhilarating combat feel of arcade fighting games. Streets of Rage 3 is presented as the series' peak, blending elements from the first two games while adding systemic exhilaration. A radar chart visually compares the three games across metrics like fighting feel, tempo, movement speed, actionability, strategy, and character individuality,
suggesting Streets of Rage 3 is the most complex and varied. The page then provides a detailed comparison of the game's control systems, covering attacks, movement, special moves, weapons, and character distinctiveness. It notes the evolution from Streets of Rage 1's police car special and partner attacks to Streets of Rage 2's MPBASED special moves and larger characters like Max and Skate, and finally Streets of Rage 3's gauge-based specials that recover, dash for all characters, a new roll move, and more detailed character parameters for Axel, Blaze, Skate, and Ash. Screenshots illustrate various combat and movement mechanics across the three titles, demonstrating the changes discussed. The analysis highlights the increasing complexity and depth of the series' gameplay with each installment. This page delves into the evolution of the Streets of Rage series beyond core combat mechanics, starting with Verification 3, which examines advancements in two-player cooperative play. It highlights the narrative choice in Streets of Rage 1, the dedicated battle mode in Streets of Rage 2, and the return and enhancement of cooperative moves in Streets of Rage 3, complete with diagrams showing the inputs for new throws and rotating attacks. Screenshots illustrate these co-op moves and the battle mode interface. Verification 4 explores other significant evolutions, noting Streets of Rage 3's inclusion of story demos between rounds, branching pathways, and interactive environmental features, aiming to elevate the game beyond simple combat. Images show various scenes from Streets of Rage 3, including a character dialogue box. The game structure section contrasts the primarily linear design of earlier games, like Streets of Rage 2, with the branching structure introduced in Streets of Rage 3, influenced by player decisions and party size, which alters the later stages. Finally, the page discusses the increased use of terrain features. While Streets of Rage 1 and 2 had minimal environmental interaction like conveyors, Streets of Rage 3 introduces much more dynamic elements such as destructible objects, button-activated platforms, and minecarts, adding strategic depth. Screenshots showcase these interactive environments. From Streets of Rage 3, this page details the evolution of two-player modes, branching paths, and interactive environments across the Streets of Rage series, highlighting Streets of Rage 3's advancements. This page delves deeper into the world of Streets of Rage 3, starting with the curious appearance of the fighting kangaroo, Roo, and his trainer Bruce, who appear as opponents in Round 2. It then touches upon a surprising development, the arrival of Ash, depicted as a rival concerning Axel and Blaze, suggesting potential romantic intrigue or conflict. The page confirms the main playable characters for this entry are Axel Stone, Blaze Fielding, and Dr. Zan, noting the return of Max Thunder and the appearance, but non-playable status, of Atom Hunter, featuring brief comments from each character. Additionally, various Syndicate enemies like Galcia, Donovan, and Elektra share short messages expressing their determination in Streets of Rage 3. The page also includes a look at the battle mode and a small comic panel, before hinting at a detailed guide for rounds 1 through 6 on the next page. This page provides a digest for the initial rounds of Streets of Rage 3, guiding players through the game's early challenges. It begins with Round 1, Pier Warehouse, setting the scene after Mr. X's bomb incident in Wood Oak City. Axel, Blaze, and Dr. Zan head to the warehouse, encountering various Syndicate thugs like Galcias and Donovans. The objective is to fight through the cluttered storage area to confront the boss, the powerful robot R-Bear. The vertical text emphasizes intense close-quarters combat. Next is Round 2, Downtown to Disco. The team must traverse the dangerous downtown area to reach the disco, where another bomb might be hidden. This round features a wider variety of enemies, including animal trainers, kangaroos, the bike gang, signals, and ices. Inside the disco, players face bosses Shiva, Roo, accompanied by Bruce, Yasha, and Anihaime. The vertical text references the disco setting and the chaotic fights within. The article notes the uncertainty about the bomb's location within the disco, adding to the tension. This page delves into the next stages of Streets of Rage 3, picking up after the initial rounds. It covers Round 3, Construction Site. The team learns that Axel Stone has returned and is involved, joining Blaze and Dr. Zan in the mission to rescue the general. The objective is to fight through a dangerous construction site at night, filled with environmental hazards like large holes, rolling drums, and even wind-blown debris. The article highlights the challenge posed by the boss, Electra, an enemy from previous games who seems to have been enhanced or replaced by a more formidable version here. Following that is Round 4. Underground Railway. This stage takes the team underground, navigating a subway system. The main challenge in this round is avoiding the electronically controlled trolley or minecart that constantly moves through the area, crushing anyone in its path. The enemies encountered include syndicate members and a significant force of ninjas, including named opponents like Mifune and Kosugi. Exiting the underground leads to a Japanese shrine area, where the team faces a spiritual-looking samurai boss who can split into multiple copies. The article notes the contrast between the modern underground and the traditional shrine setting. This page covers the later stages of Streets of Rage 3, picking up the action after the Underground Railway. Round 5 takes you into the Syndicate building, the suspected base of operations. After navigating the traditional Japanese pie-style entrance, the interior changes to a Western style on the upper floors. Here, you face reinforced enemy forces including ninja and phoenix units. The goal is to confront Mr. X, who is revealed to be alive and significantly more powerful than before, wielding a devastating new weapon. Round 6 shifts to the escape from the building, triggered by a warning about incoming poison gas from Robo.X. The urgent mission is to rescue General Petrov, who is held captive behind 2 barriers. You're on a tight time limit, mere seconds, to destroy the control devices for these barriers and save the general, whose fate hangs in the balance. Navigating the level involves using elevators and fighting through the remaining enemies, with the exact location of the general and the barrier controls left as a challenge for the player. The article emphasizes the game's continued intensity and hidden depth, noting that Streets of Rage 3 is packed with various elements to discover within its 24 MB cartridge. It also teases the appearance of Atom Hunter, shown here riding an unexpected vehicle, questioning his true intentions. This page features the regular column, Konami's Room, focusing this time on the topic of rivalry. The author, T. Hayasaka, discusses Konami's reaction to losing a reader poll to the column from another company, strongly implied to be Sega, and even receiving a call from them about it. The article highlights how this competition motivates Konami's development team and sets new goals, implying a focused effort on future titles to outperform their rivals. Illustrations throughout depict a playful rivalry between characters resembling Konami's Rocket Knight and Sega's Sonic. The page also includes an art section showcasing Picno 2, a drawing tool used in Konami's game development, demonstrating its capabilities with an illustration. Finally, the postcard date mailbag section answers reader questions about Konami games. Topics include the possibility of Gradius series ports to the Mega Drive, not highly likely compared to PC Engine ports, the development status of Tokimeki Memorial as a dating simulation game, the popularity of the Game Boy version of Life Force, Salamander internationally, but low chance of a Mega Drive port, and the potential appearance of Parodius on the Mega Drive, more likely, versus Gradius IV, less likely. The column concludes with a note about the Mega Drive title Vampire Killer, Castlevania, Bloodlines internationally, containing various hidden techniques for players to discover. This page is dedicated to diving deep into the upcoming title, Lunar 2, starting with the first installment of a dedicated information section. The main article announces the official start of the countdown for Lunar 2's release, driven by significant reader interest following initial reports 3 months prior. A recurring column titled, Where Are They Now?, focuses on the character Mia, presented by character designer Toshiyuki Kubuka. It features illustrations and handwritten notes speculating on Mia's role after Lunar 2, suggesting she becomes a teacher following her time at the Magic Guild. The mailbag section includes reader postcards expressing high anticipation for the game, with one fan jokingly claiming it will surpass other RPGs like Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger. There's also the first entry of the Lunar 2 production diary. It details a staff retreat held in July 1992 at Shiryaki Onsen, shortly after the first Lunar game was released. The retreat involved key staff discussing the fundamental direction for the sequel, solidifying concepts like the Blue Star and the character Lucia. A time-slip photo from the retreat shows the staff relaxing and playing mahjong, though the diary notes this wasn't constant and happened during idea sessions. This page delves into the intricate details of Lunar, Eternal Blue, starting with an in-depth look at the steamship Volgan. The page features detailed design sketches of the Volgan from various angles, showcasing its unique caterpillar-like propulsion system attached to the hull, the bridge layout with the ship's wheel and throttle, and even close-ups of the instrument panel.
The text highlights the incredible detail in these designs, credited to Toshiyuki Sato. Also featured is a section revisiting characters from the first game, Lunar, the Silver Star. We get a look at Mia, who is set to appear in Eternal Blue as the head of the Magic Guild in Vane, having overcome some personal challenge. There's a small illustration teasing a scene of Mia and Nash bathing in a spring. Following this, we're introduced to Lemina, the daughter of Lemuria and the current head of Vane, described as having a strong personality that contrasts with Mia's. In the Words from President Miyagi column, he gives a development update, noting that the project is moving past the chaotic phase, and the various parts like maps and the battle system are starting to come together, making it feel like the game is finally nearing completion. He humorously relates the process to physics theories like chaos theory and superstring theory. A call for submissions asks readers for their thoughts and predictions on the magic system in Eternal Blue and announces a contest for fan illustrations to be judged by character designer Toshiyuki Kubuka. This page is the latest issue of the No Kone Press newspaper, dated March 8, 1994. The main feature is an exclusive profile obtained for Arle Naja, the main character from Madu Monogatari 2, well known internationally from the Puyo Puyo puzzle game series. Her profile lists her age, physical traits, including some playfully kept secret, education, and her interesting likes and dislikes, including her rather peculiar ideal man, a kindergarten teacher. The article hints that an investigation related to this ideal man has been mysteriously halted due to strange incidents. Elsewhere on the page, the No Kone Art Gallery showcases illustrations submitted by readers. There's also a detailed explanation of the point system used for reader contributions, where earning points allows you to claim various compile-related prizes like a Puyo Uchiwa or a Puyo Puyo setting databook. The midterm results of a Puyo Puyo character popularity poll are presented, showing Draco Centauros currently leading the votes. Finally, a questionnaire is open for submissions, asking readers for ideas for future newspaper content and their favorite recent games from other companies, offering a special gift for participating. 2 short comic strips are also featured, one seemingly about a character's reaction to buying Serranolon Coco, and another announcing the release of a Carbuncle plush toy. This page is the Sonic Communications section, handled by Sonic Software Planning. It kicks off with the welcome return of the Proverb Dojo column, where 2 editors chat about their break, the power of reader postcards, and tease upcoming game titles like New Source Rakusensho and Genesis Ragnar Senti. Following that are a few small, quirky reader contributions, one about finding a cheat code, another titled Lump of Desire. The main bulk of the page is the Sonic Communications Mania section, filled with impressive reader illustrations. The editors thank everyone for their submissions and encourage more drawings, particularly using non-pencil pens. Many illustrations feature characters from the Shining Force series, showcasing the game's popularity with the readers. They also announce the topic for the next issue's illustrations will be Side Story Characters I Wanted to See in Shining Force 2. Finally, there's a personal diary column from Okada Hanako, who discusses the cold winter weather and her longing for spring, while also noting the Sonic content in the issue despite the chilly conditions. A brief aside mentions someone being hit by a cart at an industry show. This page features the recurring column, Jam Oji-san's Passionate Serial, focusing this time on the upcoming 32-bit console war and the confusion within the game industry. The author, Jam Oji-san, discusses the likely frontrunners being Sony's PlayStation, referred to by its development codename PSX, and Sega's Saturn. The article highlights the uncertainty among both hardware and software makers regarding the next dominant platform, leading many developers to adopt a wait-and-see approach, preparing software for multiple systems like Sega and Sony. A significant point is Bandai's entry into the Mega Drive market, having previously been solely a Nintendo supporter, demonstrating the changing landscape. Jam Oji-san stresses Sega's crucial responsibility for the successful launch of the Saturn, emphasizing the need for strong initial software and a favorable development environment for third parties. While mentioning Virtua Fighter as a key title for the Saturn, the column suggests the console needs more impactful games. A screenshot from Ridge Racer, likely the PlayStation version, is also shown, hinting at the competition. The article concludes by questioning which hardware will ultimately conquer this new market, acknowledging the mature Super Famicom market is seeing declining sales. A small section at the bottom invites readers to submit questions for Jam Oji-san to answer, promising a prize for featured submissions. This page features the Baka OU column, a regular segment known for its eccentric take on games and life. One highlight is an amusing look at the assertiveness of weak enemies in Wonder Boy in Monster World, comparing their different attitudes, and arguing that even minor foes can be memorable. There's also a section showcasing Baka goods, featuring collectible cards related to Superplay, noting the surprising variety available. The column delves into some humorous non-game topics, like a segment titled Proverb Verification, that discusses someone who constantly misses deadlines but always lands on their feet, accompanied by a photo of the Great Buddha. Other recurring features include a guide to a local restaurant near the office and a monthly pose for readers to imitate. On the gaming front, there's a preview of Skitchin, described as a new overseas title from EA. It's humorously likened to Road Rash but played on rollerblades or skates while hitching a ride on cars, with screenshots showing the unique perspective. Another segment, My Recommended Baka, praises Monkey Island, a LucasArts adventure game. The reviewer highlights its clever story and witty dialogue, calling it a rewarding experience for those who stick with it. Finally, a brief, humorous take on a tennis game advertisement, possibly for Davis Cup, rounds out the page. This page showcases Santa's Terminal Unit, a hardware accessory designed to dramatically improve the video output quality of your Sega Mega Drive. It explains how this unit enhances the clarity of the image displayed on your television, particularly by increasing the visible resolution from the standard 280,300 lines to over 400 lines. This boost in resolution means smaller text is sharper and easier to read, making text-heavy games like RPGs and strategy/simulation games far more enjoyable. The unit also significantly reduces common video issues like color bleeding and signal noise, resulting in a much cleaner and more vibrant picture. There are two versions available, the Mega SO1 for the original Mega Drive and the Mega SO2 for the Mega Drive 2. It's important to note that you'll need a television with an input to use this unit, and the necessary connection cables, cable, audio cable, and a headphone cable for MD1 stereo output are sold separately. For those chasing the best possible visual experience on their Mega Drive, this unit promises a noticeable difference. It's available now for 4,900 yen plus tax. This page is a comprehensive order form and price list from the Sega specialty store, Santa. As discussed on the previous page, they are a key retailer for Sega products, including the Terminal Unit, which dramatically improves picture quality. Beyond that essential hardware, this page features a wide array of software across different Sega platforms. You'll find sections for new Mega Drive releases, offering titles at standard retail prices. There's also a fantastic super bargain corner, packed with Mega Drive games available for as low as 300 to 700 yen. A great opportunity to pick up classics or lesser-known gems on the cheap. The store also stocks new releases for the Mega CD and lists various Sega accessories, including different controllers, adapters, and cables. For Game Gear enthusiasts, there's a section with game titles available. This page provides all the necessary information for ordering by phone or fax, detailing shipping costs and payment methods, making it a one-stop shop for Sega fans looking to expand their collection directly from Santa. This page presents the anticipated software release schedule for Sega's platforms, listing games slated for release from March onwards, including titles with undecided dates. For the Mega Drive, you can see exciting upcoming games like Virtua Racing, Streets of Rage 3, Phantasy Star IV, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and ports of arcade hits like NBA Jam and Mortal Kombat, alongside new entries in series like Monster World and Rolling Thunder. The schedule covers various genres, from action and RPGs to sports and racing. The Mega CD section features titles such as the classic Dragon's Lair, Lords of Thunder, and ports like Eye of the Beholder and Shadow of the Beast 2, adding adventure and strategy games to the lineup. There's also a small section for the Mega LD format. This comprehensive schedule gives a clear picture of the diverse software support planned for Sega fans, detailing release months, prices, publishers, and genres for these highly anticipated titles. This page kicks off with the Game Gear new software schedule, showing titles lined up from March onwards. You can look forward to playing classics like Echo the Dolphin, Sonic Drift, Aladdin, and NBA Jam, covering a mix of action, racing, and sports genres, with several games offering two-player link cable compatibility. The editorial section gives a quick check, mentioning new companies entering the market and promising more Mega CD titles are on the way, despite not appearing on the immediate schedule. They tease exciting upcoming games like Streets of Rage 3 and Hybrid Front, plus a big reveal for a series coming to CD. Below that, the software makers share messages. Sega talks about the big rush of releases, highlighting Virtua Racing for MD and upcoming titles like Dynamite Headdy. Capcom mentions Super Street Fighter 2 and its arcade success. Virgin Games touches on titles like Cool Spot and RoboCop vs. Terminator. Konami teases games like Mystical Fighter and potentially Castlevania for the Mega Drive. EA Victor is buzzing about the upcoming FIFA Soccer, calling it amazing. Pony Canyon confirms the release date for the classic dungeon crawler Eye of the Beholder. These messages cover a wide array of titles across Sega's platforms. This page is a guide on how to fill out the reader survey postcard. It asks readers for their demographic information like gender, age, and occupation, as well as how many Mega Drive games they own. The survey also wants to know which other gaming magazines they read, and their opinions on articles from the current issue, asking them to list the best and worst. A key question focuses on purchase intent for a specific item mentioned in the March issue, likely the Genesis CDX, gauging interest in its release and timing. The survey also asks readers to list which gaming consoles and computers they currently own, covering a wide array of systems popular at the time including the Mega Drive, Mega CD, Game Gear, Super Famicom, Neo Geo, Game Boy, PC Engine, FM Towns, and Macintosh. Finally, the survey asks readers to list games they already own and games they plan to buy, featuring extensive lists of titles across various platforms popular during this era. The page also includes a section listing the winners of various prizes from the February issue's reader contest, including game software and calendars. This page dives deep into Vampire Killer, known internationally as Castlevania Bloodlines on the Mega Drive. It highlights this game as a crucial entry in the Castlevania series, particularly for its setting in the year 1914 during the backdrop of World War I, a deviation from the usual timeline that adds a unique historical flavor to the classic battle between the Belmont clan and Dracula. The page introduces the main characters, John Morris and Eric Lecard, detailing their lineage and motivations for fighting the forces of darkness. It also features key antagonists like the resurrected Elizabeth Bathory and the sorceress Dorothea Shuntes, setting the stage for their conflict. Screenshots showcase various characters and environments from the game. A dedicated section praises the game's audio design, emphasizing the powerful use of the Mega Drive's FM sound chip to create an immersive atmosphere. The developers discuss their process, referencing classic Castlevania tunes and even other Konami arcade titles like Twinbee to craft the soundtrack, encouraging players to pay special attention to the music. The game receives a completion gauge rating of 100%, indicating a highly anticipated or complete package. The page notes key details, like it being a one-player action game from Konami. This page continues the deep dive into Castlevania Bloodlines, showcasing various dark and atmospheric locations the heroes will explore. It highlights iconic stages, warped by Dracula's power. You'll revisit the classic Dracula's castle, the ultimate destination, now saturated with the blood it has consumed over centuries. The journey also takes you to the gruesome guillotine execution chamber, filled with the vengeful spirits of the executed, and demons summoned by Dracula. The page then shifts to the fantastical. The legendary submerged Temple of Atlantis rises from the Aegean Sea, a once great city now a ruin teeming with monstrous life. Finally, the unstable Leaning Tower of Pisa becomes a focal point. Its unnatural tilt, a manifestation of the dark energy making it a haven for discordant creatures. The stage breakdowns on the right connect these locations to the unfolding plot. It explains Dracula's resurrection through the power of grudges and the near-simultaneous appearance of Elizabeth Bathory, setting the stage for the confrontations faced by the two vampire hunters, John Morris and Eric Lecard, whose striking artwork is also featured. This Castlevania Bloodlines page delves into stages 4 to 6, detailing the escalating conflict. Stage 4, Cursed Machines Activate, features mechanical enemies and Elizabeth Bathory's demonic weapons, linking ancient evil to modern atrocities. Stage 5, Versailles Palace of Seven Souls, showcases a corrupted Marie Antoinette haunting a demonic stronghold under Dracula's and Elizabeth's influence. Stage 6, Evil Prayer at Proserpina Castle, introduces another demonic obstacle, with Dorothea and Elizabeth blocking the heroes. The developer's note emphasizes the importance of mastering character skills, and the significantly harder overseas version. The page culminates in Dracula's resurrection, highlighting the game's central theme. This page shifts focus to the charming world of Crayon Shin-chan, Arashi Oyobu Enji on the Mega Drive. It follows up on the previous article, explaining the game's fundamental elements and introducing the cast. The completion gauge suggests the game tracks progress, showing 100% completion here, playable by one person. A large section is dedicated to introducing characters, presented as Shin-chan's enemies. All gather. These include friends like Bo-chan, Kazama-kun, Masao-kun, and Nena-chan, alongside more unusual figures like Hitodama, Spirit, Yurei, Ghost, Karakasa, Umbrella Ghost, Nupurubu, Faceless Ghost, Hitotsume Kozo, One-Eyed Imp, and the Black Meke group. It notes that while these are listed as enemies, the group includes friends, and attack patterns vary by area. A screenshot shows Shin-chan interacting with a dresser, explaining a mechanic where Shin-chan chooses clothes from drawers. The page also features Shin-chan's famous lines collection, showcasing dialogue sequences from the game. These screenshots depict Shin-chan talking to people in various locations, like a dentist's office and a butcher shop, as well as conversations with the character Terunobu, highlighting the game's often humorous and unique interactions. The text indicates that dialogue options are often provided in these situations. This guide, Cards Are Here, details card collection locations in the Crayon Shin-chan game. Stage 1 involves talking to characters like Shiro and Masao in specific areas. Stage 2 focuses on the Kimodameshi event, requiring Osatsu collection and defeating monsters for card locations near a temple and graveyard. Stage 3 involves collecting action goods to rescue Action Kamen without needing to defeat enemies. Stage 4 guides players through a snow battle tournament at the kindergarten, where talking to characters like Yoshinaga-sensei is crucial for card locations. The guide features screenshots and highlights the game's appealing graphics, humor, and minigames. This page focuses on the Sega Mega Drive wrestling game, WWF Royal Rumble. It prominently features the game's large roster of 12 popular WWF superstars, including iconic names like Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and Razor Ramon, complete with photos and brief descriptions of each wrestler. The page highlights the chaotic and exciting gameplay, with multiple screenshots showing various wrestling moves and different match scenarios in the ring. The game offers a variety of match types beyond standard bouts, including one-on-one, tag team, triple tag team, and the signature Royal Rumble match. The text mentions improved gameplay with new moves and adjustable rules, emphasizing that the game faithfully reproduces the wrestlers' signature moves and entrance themes, adding to the authentic wrestling atmosphere. The developer expresses excitement for the game, promising a grand battle with fan-favorite wrestlers. This page shifts focus to the wild world of NBA Jam. Straight from the US, this isn't your average basketball simulation. It uses real NBA players but throws conventional rules out the window for chaotic 2-on-2 action. The core of the over-the-top gameplay lies with the turbo button, allowing for insane gravity-defying dunks and other ultra-level plays, though you have to manage your turbo meter. The page showcases the explosive action, with screenshots depicting huge dunks, mid-air collisions, and even a backboard-shattering crash shot. It also highlights the fire mode, activated after 3 consecutive shots, granting unlimited turbo, a powerful advantage. The game features a side-view perspective, with realistic sound effects and commentary. It emphasizes the ability to play with up to 4 people using the Sega Tap. Player portraits and team selections are shown, including iconic teams like the Chicago Bulls. The developer's note confirms the game's roots in US arcades and promises plenty of acrobatic super dunks, stating it's highly recommended if you're looking for something beyond typical basketball games. This page focuses on the highly anticipated release of Monster World IV. As the title suggests, this is the latest installment in the popular Wonder Boy/Monster World series, serving as a direct sequel to Wonder Boy in Monster World. While connected to the previous game, Monster World IV adopts a distinct Arabian-inspired theme, offering a fresh setting for fans. The graphics are highlighted for their beautiful, subtle color palette, and the characters are described as charming, reflecting the developer Wheatone's refined sense of design. Gameplay combines standard action with puzzle-solving elements, promising an experience that goes beyond typical action games. The star of the show is Apasha, the first female protagonist in the series, who sets out from her village, Estaharn, to prove herself as a warrior. Her journey is aided by Pepelogu, a mysterious, adorable blue creature found in the city of Rapadanya. Pepelogu is not just a pet but a vital partner, assisting a Sha with various cooperative actions, like being carried or thrown to reach new areas or solve puzzles. Screenshots showcase a Shosha's basic actions, such as attacking and defending, as well as specific jump attacks and throws utilizing Pepelogu. The page also gives a glimpse of enemies and locales like the Tower of Silence.
This page continues exploring the world of Monster World IV, focusing on the progression after the Tower of Silence. Upon clearing the tower, the player, as a Masha, is transported by the genie to the town of Rapadanya. This town serves as a crucial hub, featuring essential locations like the castle and shops. The journey involves being recognized as a warrior at the castle and finding the mysterious blue creature, Pepelogu, in town after obtaining an egg. Rapadanya allows Ajersha to prepare for her adventures, including buying equipment and saving her progress with the help of a save ferry. From the town, the path leads to the scorching Handera volcano after breaking an earth seal. This area introduces challenging platforming and combat, heavily relying on Pepelogu's cooperative abilities, such as using him for special jumps. The section highlights the environmental hazards and enemies found within the volcanic depths, culminating in a boss battle against a formidable winged creature. The article also teases a transformation or change for Pepelogu upon returning to town. The developer's comment emphasizes the series' consistent quality, the engaging puzzle elements, and the appeal of Atasha as the first female protagonist. This page focuses on the shoot-'em-up grindstormer, known as VV in Japan, highlighting the relentless pursuit of high scores. This Mega Drive version is a port of the popular arcade game. The article praises its quality and states it's a must-play for shooting game fans. Gameplay involves collecting capsules to power up and select different weapons. Unlike some games, Grindstormer features direct item pickups for weapons, and the powerful bomber is also available. The ability to choose your preferred weapon based on the situation is a strategic highlight. The article discusses strategy, specifically tackling stages beyond Stage 3 and revisiting earlier stages up to Stage 3 for practice. It provides screenshots showcasing the different weapon types: shot, standard forward fire; missile, powerful, great for bosses; search, auto-targeting but less damaging; shield, provides a barrier; and bomber, screen clearing, limited use. Choosing the right weapon for the situation, particularly during boss battles, is emphasized as crucial for success and achieving those high scores. The piece also notes the current state of the shooting game genre, but expresses hope that games like Grindstormer can help it regain popularity. This page continues the coverage of Grindstormer, known as VV in Japan, focusing on the challenges and strategies for Stage 4 and beyond. Stage 4 is noted for its intense enemy fire, with bullets falling like a waterfall, making precise movement crucial. The guide recommends the shot weapon specifically for this stage, particularly against enemies carrying green spheres, which can trap the player if not destroyed carefully to open a path. Moving on to the Stage 4 boss, dubbed Laser Guy, the article surprisingly labels it as relatively easy. The key is to dodge its powerful lasers while focusing fire on its core. The path to the game's true ending is discussed, revealing it requires completing a second loop of the game. The second playthrough is significantly harder, drastically increasing enemy bullet patterns, but is essential for the highest scores and the full experience. Stage 5 presents new challenges, including a mid-boss that attempts to pull the player in, and unique enemy types in the final stage. The article also highlights the satisfying feeling of navigating dense bullet patterns, a core appeal of the genre, and shows a Mega Drive controller, tying the tactile experience to the gameplay. This page is all about the excellent Mega Drive port of the arcade puzzle and action game, Tantor. The main headline emphasizes that multiplayer competition is best with 4 players, and the completion gauge proudly shows the game is 100% complete for release. While it's a faithful port of the arcade experience, the Mega Drive version packs a punch with 4 brand new minigames exclusive to this release. These include quirky challenges like the bird trick, sorting quick cookies, launching the Amida bird, and the satisfying Crash Kanken where you crush cans. Beyond the expanded minigame roster, the game offers multiple modes to keep things fresh. You can play the classic arcade mode identical to the original, jump into
competition mode for heated battles with up to 4 players using the Sega Tap, or relax and free mode where you can pick your favorite games for practice or just plain fun. The developers expressed their satisfaction with the high quality of this port, noting the voice work is included and the competitive aspect is intense. Contra on the Mega Drive is highlighted as a great title for multiplayer fun, perfect for gathering friends or enjoying with a partner. This is definitely the definitive home console version of a great puzzle action experience.
This page is a special feature dedicated to Sega's renowned AM2 development team, spearheaded by the legendary Yu Suzuki. It promises an in-depth look at the team widely considered Sega's strongest, revealing secret stories about Suzuki and AM2, unveiling details about the groundbreaking Model 2 titled Daytona USA, discussing the Mega Drive version of Virtua Racing, and even offering an official AM2 strategy guide. The page showcases the impressive lineage of AM2's arcade hits that shaped the industry, starting with the revolutionary motion cabinet racing game Hang-In from 1985, followed by the intense sprite-scaling action of Space Harrier and the iconic driving experience of Outrun. It highlights further advancements with Afterburner, Power Drift's unique track design, and the innovative Glock and Rai 360 motion simulators. The feature then moves into the Polygon era, with the pivotal Virtua Racing and the world-changing Virtua Fighter, culminating with the arcade masterpiece Daytona USA. It specifically calls out the impressive technical achievement of porting Virtua Racing to the Mega Drive, a title I know pushed the system's limits. This feature celebrates the team's legacy and impact on gaming. This page begins a deep dive into Sega's legendary AM2 development team and its equally legendary leader, Yu Suzuki. The prominent image is a portrait of Suzuki himself. The main text features an interview or discussion where Suzuki recounts his journey to Sega, starting from unexpected paths like aspiring to be a dentist or a guitarist. He explains how Sega's development structure began as a single department and later split, revealing that the 2 in AM2 came about simply because he liked the number's mathematical properties, powers of 2. Suzuki also shares insights into his game design philosophy, exemplified by titles like Outrun, where the goal wasn't just a racing game, but capturing the feeling of a beautiful drive through diverse scenery, like sunsets or sunrises, drawing inspiration from everyday moments. A dedicated section titled, More Secret Stories from AM2 promises behind-the-scenes anecdotes about their games and staff. The first secret revealed focuses on the iconic victory poses in Virtua Fighter. It explains that these poses were created by filming AM2 staff members performing the moves using motion capture, with notable details like Pei Chan's pose being performed by a former ballet dancer on the team, and Jeffrey McWild's based on a real model's movements. Screenshots of Pei and Jeffrey's K.O. poses illustrate this point, adding a fascinating layer to the game's creation. This page continues the deep dive into Sega's AM2 team, shifting focus to the groundbreaking title Virtua Fighter. Prominently featured is a stunning, realistic CG render of the game's protagonist, Akira Yuki, which was specially created by AM2 to explore pushing graphical boundaries, even drawing comparisons to the 2-1000 effect. The text discusses the challenges of implementing such high-fidelity models in games at the time, but highlights it as a future goal for the series. The page also delves into Akira's martial art, Baji Quan, explaining its historical roots in China and its focus on powerful close-quarters combat. Complementing this is a section detailing Akira Yuki's in-game backstory, describing him as the heir to a prestigious Japanese dojo who masters various styles before learning Baji Quan. In addition to the deep lore, a practical guide is included, revealing previously hidden special moves for 4 characters: Akira, Cage, Sarah, and Jackie. A small table provides the move names and button commands, accompanied by screenshots demonstrating each technique. This section serves as a helpful tip for players looking to master these fighters. A photo shows you Suzuki, mentioning the Saturn version of Virtua Fighter is also in development. This page shifts focus to Sega AM2's latest racing game, Daytona USA, which utilizes the cutting-edge Model 2 centigrams board, representing a significant leap forward from Virtua Racing. The content features an interview with the game's designer, Katsuhiro Hasegawa. Hasegawa explains that the team deliberately focused on gameness and driving fun over pure simulation, positioning it as a drive game rather than a simulator, contrasting it with titles like Ridge Racer. A key element is the intense racing experience, with 40 cars on the track simultaneously. The game offers 3 courses, highlighting the short oval, which is incredibly fast, taking only 17-18 seconds per lap. The sound design,
Particularly the V8 engine sound is also praised. Screenshots showcase the Circuit Select screen, showing the 3 course options: short, medium, long, in-game views displaying the HUD and racing action, and a dramatic crash sequence. The interview also touches upon the development process using the new Model 2 hardware and the team structure after Virtua Racing, with one group moving on to Virtua Fighter and another on Daytona USA. Future updates are planned, including communication battles. This Sega AM2 Labs guide details strategies for mastering the Mega Drive's Virtua Racing, focusing on time attack. The out-and-out, slow and fast-out method, using counter-steering for fast corners, and a Viewer 3 perspective are key. Hard difficulty and manual transmission are recommended for optimal speed. A nationwide Virtua Racing Japan time attack contest is announced, with prizes including stickers, a promotion video, a VR cap, and a Mega CD2 system for top finishers. Players must submit lap times from beginner, intermediate, and expert courses. A separate VR race contest is also held at Tokyo CSG. Screenshots illustrate techniques and submission formats. This page continues the deep dive into Virtua Racing from Sega AM2 Labs, focusing specifically on optimizing laps on the beginner course, Big Forest, for time attack. The goal is to achieve sub-37-second lap times, highlighting the crucial role of the compound curve and the final corner. The main strategy emphasizes aggressive driving, staying on the accelerator as much as possible, and mastering countersteering, particularly for maintaining speed through key turns. Detailed breakdowns cover specific corners like the splash curve, bubbling Brock, and the final curve, offering techniques like early countersteering and utilizing the inner grass on the final turn. A ranking table shows top times, with the AM2 Labs best lap noted at 37 seconds and 13 milliseconds. A separate section titled Full of Memories, the Experience Game Series, features reflections from Yu Suzuki on the development of iconic Sega arcade games like Hangin'. Suzuki shares personal anecdotes about the passion and effort invested, recalling Hangin' as the first Sega game to feature background music, and the challenges of creating these groundbreaking experience titles. A photo of a Hangin' arcade cabinet is included, described as a precious image. This page moves on to the medium course, Bay Bridge, in Virtua Racing. It's highlighted as the most difficult of the 3 courses, emphasizing remembering braking points and navigating narrow sections carefully. The guide breaks down key areas, like the difficult curve after the tunnel and the final corner, offering strategies and showing diagram and gameplay screenshots. There's also a fascinating story about the Extreme Arcade cabinet, the R360, mentioning an early prototype, and even Sega president Nakayama trying it out. Finally, a photo shows the development scene at Sega AM2 Labs, giving a glimpse into the team behind this groundbreaking game. This page focuses on the expert course, Acropolis, in Virtua Racing. Highlighted as significantly more challenging, the key strategies for success are running at full speed outside of hairpins, mastering subtle line tracing, and continuously applying small countersteering inputs. The detailed course guide breaks down 3 critical sections. First, the complex curve area involving Medusa Trail and Agora Curve requires careful countersteering after the initial straights. Next, the difficult spoon curve near the Hydra Curve demands precise braking to navigate effectively. Finally, the Blind Valley section between Ancient Ruin and Olympia Straight encourages using the full width of the track to maintain speed and run nearly straight. The page also provides benchmark lap times, listing a passing time of 50 seconds and an AM2 research team's fastest lap of 48.40 seconds. Advice from a champion driver emphasizes aggressive braking before the hairpin and sharp corner entry, noting the course requires constant steering adjustments. Beyond the course guide, there's a preview hinting at the continuation of the AM2 research feature in future issues, potentially including secrets about upcoming games and a Q and a corner for reader questions. A section on the Virtua Racing Time Attack Battle Competition is also present, where results will be shared, suggesting player feedback might influence AM2's future plans. This page brings us a deep dive into the upcoming Mega CD title, Popful Mail. Finally set for release next month on April 1st, this action RPG from Sega and Falcom is highlighted as a significantly renewed version of the original PC game, with updates to the system, maps, enemies, and graphics promising a fresh experience for both newcomers and veterans. The article previews the game's story and stages, focusing on the content available up to the middle of the game, specifically stages 1 through 3, out of a total of 6. It gives us a look at the unique map screen, which operates like a board game, showing progression between different areas.
There's also a peek at the in-game interface.
With the game 90% complete, the preview encourages readers to check out the atmosphere of the adventure that awaits Mail and her companions. The page also includes an index listing other game previews featured in this issue. This page continues the preview of the action RPG Popful Mail, detailing the first 2 stages of the adventure. Stage 1 serves as an essential training ground for the game's basic actions, like jumping and attacking, while also introducing the RPG elements, such as earning money to use for shopping. Key events here include the destined encounter with Tat, who joins Mail's party, and the confrontation with a strong enemy, the Wood Golem. After defeating the Golem, the character material appears, but quickly disappears. The preview highlights that the game features voice acting for dialogue scenes, enhancing the atmosphere. Stage 2 takes the party into a more complex cave environment. Unlike the straightforward first stage, navigating the cave requires careful attention to the map to avoid getting lost. Enemies become more numerous and challenging, sometimes blending into the background. A major event occurs early on, where material is dramatically struck by lightning and taken away by an unseen, angry force. The gameplay tip emphasizes using Tat's ability, with throwing items for effective ranged combat in this area. Later in Stage 2, the party meets Gaw, who joins the team, and they face a boss battle against Nicky Nutscracker. The stage is filled with various events to discover. This page continues the in-depth look at the action RPG Popful Mail. First, there's a promotional announcement for a special release campaign, offering limited premium items, a secret dial access card, and an original anime video. These were exclusive items, requiring a purchase of the game and participation in a lottery.
The main focus is on the changing companions and using characters wisely system. The game features a character change system, where effectively utilizing the 3 protagonists, Mail, Tat, and Gaw, is crucial. Each has distinct strengths. Tat excels at ranged attacks, Gaw boasts superior jumping ability, and a carefree, money-grubbing personality, while Mail is a more balanced fighter. The game encourages experimenting with different characters, as certain information or interactions may only be possible with specific party members. Several gameplay events are highlighted. Material has been captured by monsters who are apparently angered because they were attempting to manipulate a creature called Golardes. The party must confront the Thunder Dragon before they can reach Golardes. Tat's ranged attacks are noted as effective in this boss fight. Nutscracker, who escaped during the game's opening, reappears for a battle, using sword waves and puppet bombs as attacks. Finally, visiting the monster village reveals that Blackie has caused trouble by using a bomb to awaken Golardes, infuriating the other monsters. Gal bravely offers to defeat Golardes in response. This page delves deeper into the action-packed 3rd stage of the Mega CDRPG Popful Mail. After defeating Golardes, the story progresses with Gaw officially joining the party. Their new objective is to reach the ancient shrine. Navigation within the shrine is complex and requires skillful use of the party members, emphasizing Gaw's powerful jump for traversing distances and Mail's agility. The page introduces new characters encountered within the shrine, including the enigmatic Count Eric, identified as a leader of the People's Liberation Army with an incredibly long official name, and the menacing foe, Shaymar, who confronts the party aggressively. Gameplay challenges are highlighted, such as an invisible wall puzzle that requires careful observation to overcome. A notable boss fight against the Izmir Golem is previewed. This boss can fly and attacks with boomerang projectiles, requiring Gaw's aerial abilities to counter effectively. The page also includes comments from key figures involved in the game's creation. Mio, the production lead, discusses the game nearing completion and ensuring it's packed with content despite delays. Voice actress Megumi Hayashibara, who voices Mail, shares her positive experience working on the game, praising the high-quality animation and engaging story. This page dives into the Sega Mega CDRPG, Record of Lodos War, currently 60% complete, and planned for a spring release as a single-player adventure. The game promises double the enjoyment, with numerous sub-scenarios interwoven into the main quest. Exploration is streamlined through a world map, where discovering new locations is tied to gathering information in towns, providing an efficient way to uncover the game world without aimlessly wandering fields. The adventure kicks off with the hero Parn and his companion, Eat, investigating goblin activity near a village. Combat showcases powerful magic, like the explosive fireball and the electric energy bolt,
with screenshots demonstrating their effects. The page also highlights the game's production, featuring a voice recording session with notable voice actors, including Takeshi Kusao, the voice of Parn. Kusao discusses his approach to portraying Parn, focusing on the character's justice and impulsiveness, and expresses the importance of the game as a pioneering fantasy work. A group photo from the session is included, capturing the enthusiastic atmosphere. This page focuses on Sega's Formula One World Championship 1993 Heavenly Symphony for the Mega CD, highlighting its ambitious presentation. The main draw emphasized is the stunningly beautiful and lengthy opening video sequence, which utilizes real footage from Fuji TV, delivering a level of realism previously unseen in gaming. While the video is a major point, the page stresses that the game's realism extends beyond that. The game features detailed graphics for the cars, and even incorporates realistic driver faces. The tracks are meticulously rendered with accurate curves, widths, and undulations calculated in 3Ds, and elements like grandstands and arches are based on their real-world counterparts. A particular focus is placed on the sponsor boards around the track, which are all based on actual sponsors, adding another layer of authenticity. Screenshots showcase various aspects, including intense on-track action, a podium presentation ceremony with drivers, and even peculiar trackside objects like a hot air balloon and a curious cow, alongside detailed shots of the real sponsor logos like Magneti Marelli, the Jeep, and Sega itself. Furthermore, the game boasts high-quality CDBASED background music produced by a top musician from New York. The game is stated to be 80% complete, scheduled for an April release, and supports one player. This page delves into the core gameplay modes of Formula One World Championship 1993. The main mode is the Grand Prix mode, a full 16-race season where you aim for the championship. A crucial element is a test drive on the original Sega Park circuit. Your time here determines which teams offer you a contract. Perform well, and you could start with a top team like Williams or Benetton, otherwise you'll get offers from others, which the reviewer notes can be a bit of a letdown. The mode follows a realistic schedule, including practice and qualifying sessions over 2 days before the race. The page also introduces key F1 figures featured in the game, such as Luca Di Montezemolo, John Barnard, Niki Lauda, and Gerhard Berger. A unique 1993 mode recreates famous battles from the actual season. Round 1 highlights the latter's fight between JJ Leto and Derek Warwick at the South African Grand Prix, where you play as Leto, aiming to finish. The profile mentions Leto's tough start to the season, with Benetton and an early accident. The game also features realistic retirements, showing a scene when your race ends early, noting difficulties like handling the Sauber car in the rain. The 93 South Africa section specifically shows the challenging conditions with heavy rain and oil flags, making racing extremely difficult. Screenshots show various tracks, in-car views, and weather effects like spray. This page dives deep into the car setup options available in Formula One World Championship 1993. Getting the settings right is crucial for success, balancing top speed with cornering performance depending on the track and weather. The game offers 7 key areas to adjust, allowing players to fine-tune their car. You can choose from different slick and rain tires, adjusting front and rear wing angles to control downforce and manage understeer or oversteer. The handling and brake sensitivity can also be tweaked through multiple steps. Even the transmission type, auto or manual, impacts performance, though manual is recommended for experienced players seeking maximum speed. The article stresses the importance of testing these changes in practice sessions to find the optimal setup for each race. The bottom section of the page looks ahead to the coming soon 1994 F1 GP, previewing the upcoming real-world Formula One season. It highlights significant rule changes like the ban on active suspension and traction control, and discusses the expected team hierarchy, noting the continued strength of Williams, Benetton, McLaren, and Ferrari, while mentioning uncertainty surrounding McLaren's new engine and potential driver changes. This page focuses on the highly anticipated Mega CD title, Urusei Yatsura, Dear My Friends, from GameArts. Set for release on April 15th at 7,800 yen, this adventure game supports a mouse and is rated 95% complete for one player. A new original character named Satchan is teased as being central to the story's mystery. The article provides a preview of the game's opening, featuring a large, vibrant illustration packed with familiar characters from the series in a celebratory scene. It also reveals the initial story beats leading up to the introduction of Satchan. The synopsis describes Ataru attempting to avoid Lum's date invitation, leading to an encounter with a messenger doll from Ran, who has supposedly just moved nearby. This sets the stage for the unfolding adventure as Ataru and Lum head to Tomobiki High School. Screenshots showcase key moments from the early game, including Lum's room, Ran's home area, the school store, and a classroom scene, giving players a taste of the game's pixel art style. Additionally, the page previews the game's opening sequence with several screenshots, noting that it faithfully captures the look and feel of the classic TV anime. The opening will also be featured on a promotional demo disc. This page continues the look at the upcoming Mega CD adventure game, Urusei Yatsura. Dear My Friends, it details the beginning of the story after Ataru returns home from school, encountering familiar faces like Sakura-sensei and Ran, who seems to have arrived nearby. The imposing gate of the Menda family mansion makes an appearance, guarded just as you'd expect. The article then teases the plot developments to come, centering on the new character Sachan and a missing pendant, which Ataru is motivated to find after hearing Sachan's mother is attractive. Gameplay elements are highlighted by showing specific interactive moments. You'll find hidden events and actions throughout the game world. For example, early on, Ataru can try to escape Lum through the window of his room, leading to a rather predictable outcome. At the entrance to Ataru's house, there are hidden details, and even a character might be found sleeping. The living room holds a potentially dangerous event involving Kotatsu Neko and Tayaki. These snippets show the game is packed with the series' signature humor and quirky interactions beyond just the main narrative path. Screenshots illustrate these points and the overall visual style. This page features interviews with key staff involved in the Mega CD game, Urusei Yatsura. Dear My Friends. The first section highlights Hinako Kanemaru, the voice actress for the new character Sachan. She discusses her role, stating she loves voicing children and found the character a perfect fit, describing Sachan as spirited and emotionally open. She enjoyed the recording process, finding the veteran cast inspiring. The second part delves into the game's audio production, with interviews from sound staff Kenichi Uguma and Kenichi Kunishima. Uguma, responsible for music composition, reveals he created around 50 tracks for the game, including demos and arrangements, all original pieces. He mentions the challenge of composing music that felt true to Urusei Yatsura's spirit. Kunishima, who handled sound effects and integration, explains how he worked with Uguma to incorporate the audio into the game, adjusting sounds based on the visual storyboards, and facing challenges in fine-tuning the balance between graphics and sound. They both emphasize the effort put into the sound design to match the quality of the visuals. The page includes photos of the interviewees and small screenshots showing animation credits. This page details the Sega Mega CD shooting game, AX 101 Iolos. Set for release on March 25th, this title plunges players into a desperate mission to save Earth from the menacing Gelza. The game centers around a small team of 4 who must journey to Prism Star to acquire the titular AX 101 aircraft before launching a final assault on Gelza. The narrative emphasizes the high stakes and the despair faced by the team, particularly after losing a member named Pop, yet highlights the unwavering resolve needed to succeed. Screenshots showcase the game's visual style, including a dramatic launch from Earth, a cockpit view during combat in space, cities under attack on Gelza, and character designs like a robot from Prism Star. The game's combat is described as strategic, requiring players to prioritize destroying enemy fire due to the AX 101's vulnerability despite its advanced capabilities. The page conveys a sense of urgency and the heavy responsibility placed on the protagonist and their small team as they fight for humanity's future. This page details the ongoing mission in AX 101 Iolos, showcasing key challenges the team faces before confronting Gelza. The narrative picks up with the crew heading to Gadea Star to destroy its underground core, which houses a vital warp jamming device. Despite encountering numerous enemies, the powerful AX 101 aircraft is presented as the key to overcoming this obstacle. The fight continues through passages leading to the core, filled with heavily armored adversaries. Following their escape from Gadea, the second warp sends them directly into a deadly asteroid belt ambush by a colossal enemy fleet. In a dramatic turn, a character named Kiri volunteers to serve as a decoy, adding a significant emotional layer to the mission. A section titled, How to Play AX 101, advises players to fully immerse themselves in the game's story, stating it's the main focus and essential for a richer experience, alongside enjoying the intense combat and graphics. The screenshots illustrate these perilous missions, showing fierce dogfights, approaches to large structures, and the daunting scale of the enemy forces. This article reviews the Sega CD port of the classic Laserdisc game Dragon's Lair. Praising its faithfulness to the original, it highlights the seamless video playback, recreating over 25 challenging events. Screenshots depict key moments, like battling creatures and navigating perilous environments. While largely faithful, the lack of on-screen timing prompts, a common issue in home versions, is noted as a drawback. The article also celebrates the expressive animation of Dirk the Daring, crucial to the game's charm. The review concludes with a hopeful mention of a possible Space Ace port. This page features a deep dive into the Sega CD RPG, Dungeon Master 2, Skullkeep. The article presents the game from the perspective of a character named Hedo equals Farvel, emphasizing that it is fundamentally a game about raising and developing your party members. Hedo introduces herself, explaining her unexpected awakening to join the protagonist, Torhum equals Zet, in saving the world. The article highlights key party members, like the protagonist, Torhum equals Zetet, the monstrous Ekis, and the wizard Sarkaros, giving brief personality descriptions. A significant portion is dedicated to a detailed list, showcasing the parameters and skills of various potential party members, along with one-point advice on their strengths and roles. Hedo equals Farvel's own initial stats are shown, noting her high mana but notably low health, questioning if her cuteness is her greatest weapon. The feature suggests that mastering the controls takes about an hour, and that the enjoyment of the game becomes clear once you do. This page continues the adventure in Dungeon Master 2, Skullkeep, focusing on the crucial early stages starting in the Rue Tribe village. Here, you can hone your party's skills through focused training, whether you favor melee, stealth, magic, or faith. The village shops offer the best gear available early on, essential for survival. Progress requires finding the Rue key hidden within the village itself. The journey then leads through challenging areas like the Worm's Path, the vast giant beast plain where a valuable bow can be found, the mysterious ruins of Fog, and the dangerous vampire underground passage, notorious for its poisonous inhabitants, requiring antidotes. The ultimate goal is to reach and open the entrance to Skullkeep, which is sealed by a clan lock that requires assembling a tribe key from 4 pieces of the Rue tribe's clan keys found in the first field. Essential monsters encountered include the Grulop and Merchant in the village area, Digger Worms, Tough Zone Demons and Oxmen on the plains, and various bats underground. The page highlights key locations, survival tips, and provides visual guides through small maps and creature/item spotlights. This page continues the detailed guide for Dungeon Master 2, Skullkeep, picking up the challenging adventure. This session focuses on navigating difficult terrain and encountering new threats. You'll face the dangers of the Wolf Marsh, a sticky area where weak parties can get bogged down and wolves attack in groups. The guide also discusses falling into pit traps and finding the bottom, which is described as a temporary safe zone near a large obstacle requiring specific skills to pass. A significant event covered is the death of a party member, Hechan, likely from a mistake, and the process of resurrection back in the Rue tribe village through a ritual. Progression involves exploring the Thief Corridor, home to the annoying sheaf creatures who steal your weapons, and discovering areas rich in valuable fairy mushrooms that can be sold for gems. A mysterious cross hiding a tech shield is also found, useful for solving puzzles. The ultimate goal discussed is gathering the 4 Rue tribe clan keys to open the formidable Skullkeep gate. The page also showcases the substantial growth of the character Hechan, highlighting her class progression and improved abilities, confirming her development into a capable magic user. This page features a comprehensive guide for the Mega CD RPG, Heimdall, picking up the adventure at Level 2. Following on from the previous issue's Level 1 walkthrough, this section details the challenging islands of the second stage. The page includes a full map of Level 2, showing the 12 islands the player must navigate. The guide breaks down key objectives for specific islands, advising on the necessary items like various keys, iron, silver, normal, diamond, and spells needed to progress. It highlights puzzles and encounters, such as obtaining the seal of Goddess Iduna on Island 3 after defeating a wizard, or using items found on one island on a table on another to acquire valuable gear like a diamond key. The guide also mentions meeting specific characters like a dwarf on Island 6
and Goddess Iduna on Island 7, who exchange items crucial for the quest. The content notes that while islands can be visited in any order, backtracking is often necessary to acquire needed items, and all islands must be fully explored to clear the level. The reviewer comments that the game is surprisingly difficult, suggesting the later stages, starting from Island 8, are filled with many complex puzzles. A large illustration of a warrior surrounded by lightning dominates the right side of the page. This page covers two interesting Mega CD releases. First up is Game No Can Doom Volumes 1 and 2, a compilation bringing together minigames originally found on Sega's online game library service. These versions feature updated graphics and sound, including voice acting from Megumi Hayashibara. Volume 1 includes classics like Flicky and the Phantasy Star II text adventure, while Volume 2 features titles such as Teddy Boy Blues and another Phantasy Star II text adventure. The reviewer highlights that players who access the original service via modem might find comparing the versions interesting. Below that is F1 Circus CD, an F1 racing simulation that lets you drive iconic cars from different eras of F1 history. It boasts detailed simulation and management modes, allowing you to not only race but also manage a team. The page shows screenshots demonstrating the on-track action, the starting grid setup, and a management screen. The reviewer seems impressed by the depth and variety of modes, recommending it for Frade 1 fans. This page focuses on Wing Commander for the Mega CD, presented as a quick manual to help players master its controls. Unlike typical action games, Wing Commander on the Mega CD is highlighted as a spaceflight simulator, meaning players need to consider movement in a 3D space without gravity. The page provides a detailed breakdown of the controls using the 6-button pad. The movement system uses the DPAD for altitude and rotation, while holding the B button allows for acceleration/deceleration and rolling. The A button controls the standard weapon fire, which consumes energy but has unlimited ammo. The X button switches the left VDU display, and pressing A and B together fires a missile or uses the selected weapon. The Z button switches the right VDU, handling communication and navigation menus. View switching is crucial, handled via the Start button, allowing players to see from the cockpit, external, or rear perspectives. The page also mentions an eject feature for critical damage. Overall, the guide emphasizes the depth of the controls required to effectively navigate and fight in this space simulation. Screenshots show the detailed cockpit, an external ship view, and a rear camera view, illustrating the different perspectives available. This page presents a critical tactical guide for wing commanders on the Mega CD, going beyond basic controls to help players survive and thrive in space combat. It emphasizes that the game's realistic simulation nature and the vastness of space require actual strategy, not just shooting. The guide covers essential techniques starting with the often overlooked but crucial correct docking procedure with the carrier, emphasizing the necessity of approaching from the front. It then details the afterburner slide, a vital maneuver for quickly repositioning to exploit weaker side armor on enemy fighters. Attacking large capital ships requires a different approach, recommending using numerical readouts for distance and employing hit-and-run tactics while managing your shields. The page also highlights the maneuverability differences between ships, advising players that most ships struggle with vertical turns and suggesting rolling 90 degrees first to use faster horizontal turns for altitude changes. Finally, it delves into the strategic use of communication mode with your wingman, crucial for coordinating attacks on multiple targets, avoiding friendly fire in chaotic battles, and maximizing combat efficiency by having your wingman engage while you target another enemy. Screenshots illustrate the cockpit view, various ship maneuvers, and capital ship engagements, reinforcing the detailed tactical advice provided. Mastering these strategies is key to success in Wing Commander's challenging missions. This page offers expert tactical advice for wing commanders, detailing docking, combat maneuvers like the afterburner slide, capital ship strategy, and wingman communication. This page dives into the unique Mega CD title, Bakuden Unbalanced Zone, an adventure game developed by Amuse and Sony Music Entertainment. Billed as a music adventure, the game centers around the popular Japanese band Bakufu Slump, who also contribute the original BGM. The story follows a 15-year-old otaku protagonist, suddenly set across different time periods, from the primitive era to the future, by the mysterious Bakufu gods. His mission is to restore music that has been disrupted in these eras. Gameplay involves selecting actions using icons displayed at the bottom of the screen, such as looking, using hands,
talking, or using items. The correct action depends on the situation, and choosing incorrectly can lead to humorous, often painful, gag-filled reactions, like being attacked by a saber-toothed tiger. The ultimate goal in each era is to create music, culminating in live band performances, which are crucial to progressing. Screenshots show the protagonist, various pixel art environments representing different time periods, icon selections, and the unique setting mode for the live performances. It's a title that blends time travel, comedy, and music in a truly original way on the Mega CD.
This page features a special interview with Papara Kawai, the guitarist of Bakufu Slumps, and producer Shinkao again, discussing the game Bakuden Unbalanced Zone. Kawai, a self-proclaimed game enthusiast who even brings a console on tour, shares his perspective on participating in the game's development, contrasting the fun of playing with the challenges of creating. Akontraga, known for his work on titles like Record of Lodos War on the Mega CD, talks about the production side, emphasizing the goal of creating something new and surprising. They touch upon the game's unique elements, including its focus on gags and the internal growth of the protagonist, which is expressed visually rather than just through stats. A smaller section recommends the band Bakufu Slump, praising their energetic sound and soulful mix of tech and hot soul. It highlights their album Tension, released in 1993, as a must-listen. Additionally, the page includes Mega CD overflowing information, previewing upcoming software. Noteworthy titles mentioned include Kamen Rider Zo, an adventure game slated for a May release from Toei, and Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness, a historical simulation game featuring warlords like Date Masamune, which was released in March. Screenshots illustrate the gameplay and character details from Nobunaga's Ambition. This page dives into the fast-paced world of Sonic Drift for the Game Gear. The reviewer is clearly excited about this racing title, enjoying the high-speed action and the feel of drifting around corners on the handheld's 3.2-inch screen. They note that while the tracks might be a bit straightforward, mastering the drift and using each character's unique skills adds depth, especially when going for best times in the time attack mode. The game offers 3 distinct modes: Free Run for Practice, Chaos GP, where you compete against calm opponents through 6 courses across different difficulty levels, and Battle Mode for head-to-head multiplayer races. The feature highlights 4 playable characters: Sonic the Hedgehog, Miles Tails Prower, Drive, Robotnik, and Amy Rose, each with their own distinct vehicles and attributes, adding variety to the racing experience. A small hot news section announces a new Game Gear bundle that includes Sonic Drift, making it easier for newcomers to jump into the game. A personal note from the writer, dated April 8, 1994, reflects on the stress of moving and finding relief and enjoyment with the Game Gear. This page shifts focus to several more Game Gear titles, starting with Disney's Aladdin. The reviewer is highly impressed by how well the game recreates scenes from the movie on the handheld screen, finding it a recommended purchase, especially for those who enjoyed the film. Screenshots show Aladdin running through the streets and encountering characters like the genie. Next is Echo the Dolphin, noted as a complete port of the Mega Drive version. Despite the smaller screen making Echo look a bit thinner, the reviewer confirms the same emotional impact and feeling from the original is present. Small circular images showcase Echo's sprite. Below that is Yu Yu Hakusho, Ankoku Bujutsu Kai, an action game based on the popular series. Unlike the MD version, this Game Gear title features a horizontal scroll and front-view battle system, making it a solid recommendation for fighting game fans. Screenshots display characters like Yusuke and Kuwabara in combat. A side panel mentions the upcoming release of Yu Yu Hakusho 2 on May 13th. Finally, Scratch Golf is presented as a solid golf simulation game. The reviewer highlights its depth, suitable for adults, with features like choosing different club types and a scratch mode for competing against others, or calm opponents over 18 courses. Screenshots show the top-down course view and the club selection screen. The reviewer notes that the game offers deep gameplay beyond simple hitting, requiring players to consider direction, stance, and power. This page delves into the world of Laseractive, and a prominent software title for the platform. It highlights the emergence of Laseractive software, noting its role in solidifying the format. Sega's entry into the Laseractive market with the adventure game Triad Stone is mentioned as a notable development. The page then focuses heavily on Virtual Cameraman 2, described as interactive software that utilizes natural video. Set on a tropical resort island, this sequel changes the location and features new models,
It supports 3D goggles and is clearly marked as an adult game. The text suggests the game involves capturing moments of models on the island, with the 3D visuals adding immersion. Further down, the Playback Virtual Cameraman section seems to explain the gameplay loop. Pressing the shutter button on the controller captures the image as a photo. The quality and balance of this still photo determine points, which are necessary to progress. Capturing smiles or sexy moments without hesitation yields high scores. Players can also edit and save their photos. Commentary from a photographer and an editor discusses the enjoyment derived from shooting and editing the virtual photos within the game. The page includes various screenshots showing models in different poses and environments. Triad Stone, a Sega CD action game, is a home console debut for this reflex-driven genre, 8 years after its arcade release. Players must react quickly, sometimes pressing buttons simultaneously, to fill power gauges. The game features a non-linear progression system, encouraging replayability. The story involves the Demon King Barol stealing a powerful stone from Aran Island, forcing Hero Ash to recover its 3 hidden fragments. Locations like Bogart's Castle, a lava-filled volcano, and a snowy plateau are detailed, and the game map is included. A Sega staff interview highlights the development challenges of adapting the arcade game to the Sega CD hardware and the benefits of using full-motion video. Future plans mention arcade-perfect ports and potential live-action per-centigram integration. Character designs were handled by Yutaka Izubuchi, known for Ideon and Dunbine, and the fairy Nabia guards a stone fragment. This page features the BeepMD Cheat League Volume 48, presenting reader-submitted tricks and cheats for various Sega titles. Following up on the preview from the last issue, this segment covers 4 different games across 2 pages. For the shoot-'em-up Draxos, the trick reveals a level select option. After a game over, entering EOA on the name entry screen and then accessing the options menu changes the sound setting to level, allowing players to jump to different stages. A popular Disney title, Aladdin, has a level clear command. By pausing the game and entering a specific button sequence, A, B, 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 A, B, B, A, players can instantly skip the current level and advance. Moving to the Sega CD, Sonic the Hedgehog CD hides a secret special stage. Accessing the sound test from the title screen and inputting a directional and button code, down, 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 left, right, A, then setting the FM, PCM, and DAY audio options to 7, unlocks a hidden special stage upon pressing start. Finally, the page covers Cool Spot. This platformer also features a level clear command activated during a pause. Inputting a longer button sequence, A, B, C, B, A, C, A, B, C, B, A, C, will complete the current level, even if the player's cool meter is at 0%. These tricks were submitted by readers ranging from 15 to 20 years old, showing the community's involvement in discovering game secrets. This page continues the BeepMD Cheat League feature, offering more reader-submitted secrets for Sega games. First up is TMNT Tournament Fighters, detailing hidden special moves for key characters like Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, Raphael, April O'Neil, Casey Jones, Ray, and Sisyphus. These powerful techniques can be unleashed by inputting specific directional and button combinations when the character's health is low and flashing. Next, for Mortal Kombat on the Game Gear, there's a code to enable the infamous blood effect, just like the uncensored international release. After the English story text on the title screen, entering a simple button sequence reveals a message confirming the code is active, adding gore to the brutal combat. Finally, for Sonic the Hedgehog Chaos, known as Sonic and Tails in Japan, on the Game Gear, a zone select cheat is revealed. By inputting a specific button sequence after the title screen prompts you to press start, players can access a hidden menu to choose any stage they want to begin their adventure. The page also includes a brief recruitment notice for the Cheat League, seeking more submissions from enthusiastic players. This page features a look at the upcoming fighting game, World Heroes 2 Jet, for the Neo Geo system. It highlights that while it might feel like an updated version of the previous game, there are significant changes. One key improvement mentioned is the return of a subtitle function for character dialogue and unique character additions. The game features 2 main modes, a World Heroes Tournament mode where you fight opponents sequentially, and a training mode where you can choose your opponent freely. A new parameter select feature is also introduced, allowing players to choose different character attributes like normal, attack, defense, or speed focus before a match. The page also notes additions like dashing and backing up, and an increase in special moves for existing characters. Finally, the page introduces 2 new characters joining the roster. Ryofu, wielding a large polearm, and Jack, a character with a claw hand. The roster has grown significantly, with the player select screen showing a large cast of diverse fighters. The page also includes a small section on a Neo Geo rally game, Top Players Golf. It's described as a top-down rally game with World Rally Championship and Paris-Dakar race types. The controls are simple, just acceleration and brake. But the reviewer notes that using the brake makes clearing stages difficult, suggesting a focus on drifting for success. It's presented as a game to play, if you're going to talk about Neo Geo. This page is all about reader giveaways. It's packed with prizes for lucky fans.
The main event is the chance to win your choice of Mega Drive or Game Gear software, featuring screenshots from iconic titles like Castlevania, Bloodlines, the Sonic series, and Sonic Drift. Beyond games, they're giving away cool merchandise, including stationery sets themed after the popular puzzle game Puyo Puyo and the classic fighter art of fighting. Also up for grabs are a special Tatsujin multifunction controller for the Mega Drive, a book delving into the deep lore of the Phantasy Star universe, and exclusive Pioneer F1 phone cards. The application process is standard, requiring the magazine's included postcard and a postal stamp, with a deadline set for early April and winners announced in the June issue. There's also a brief update section touching on the state of the gaming world in spring 1994, noting the recent launch of the 3Do, and looking ahead to upcoming announcements for the Mega Drive and Mega CD. A question hotline for magazine-related inquiries is also listed. The page concludes with a list of staff and a recruitment notice. This page introduces the vertical scrolling shooter Grindstormer, known as V5 in Japan, scheduled for release on March 25, 1994. The prominent artwork features the game's sleek red spacecraft in a high-tech hangar. The page includes testimonials targeted at specific types of players. From Fukuoka, who admits to a short temper and resetting games when things get tough, is told Grindstormer is so engaging they won't have time for resets, potentially helping them build patience and focus through its challenging stages. Jack from Saitama, a 78-year-old seeking excitement, is assured that Grindstormer will reignite his youthful vigor with its thrilling gameplay and boss encounters. Small screenshots showcase the game's intense vertical shooter action. The title is published by Tenjin. This page highlights the upcoming reprint of the arcade hit Gauntlet for the Sega Mega Drive, scheduled for release on March 18, 1994, with a suggested retail price of 7,800 yen excluding tax. The page showcases classic fantasy artwork featuring the game's heroes and includes screenshots of the top-down action RPG gameplay. It confirms that this is a complete port of the arcade version and details game modes such as a quest mode focused on puzzles and a battle mode for player versus player action, all supporting 4-player simultaneous play. The left side features a brief mention of Grindstormer, recommending it specifically to a reader from the previous page's coverage and mentioning a special offer including power crystals at the same price point. This page serves as a major feature on the highly anticipated Sega Mega Drive port of Virtua Racing, confirming its March 18, 1994 release. The page emphasizes the game's revolutionary 3D polygon graphics, made possible by the specially developed Sega Virtua processor chip built into the cartridge. It highlights the thrilling polygon world and speed up to 300 km per hour, along with key gameplay features such as split-screen 2-player racing and 4 distinct camera viewpoints. The game retailed for 9,800 yen, positioned as a premium title pushing the boundaries of the Mega Drive hardware.